Hunter is here to stay. Alec Hunter knows the way. Alec Hunter, king of crochet. Alec Hunter will make your day. Alec Hunter is here to stay. Alec Hunter knows the way. Alec Hunter, king of crochet. Alec Hunter will make your day. Rap about a man named Alec Hunter, tricking this girl and I straight up Alec stumped her. Holding crossbow like he's literally Alec Hunter. Passing a football called this dude Alec Hunter. When he's doing bad he is trash like Alec Dumpster. Wife is literally cheating so Alec go confront her. Thinking about stuff he's doing and Alec wonder. Shooting lightning from his fingers like he's Alec Thunder. Alec Hunter is here to stay. Alec Hunter knows the way. Alec Hunter, king of crochet. Alec Hunter will make your day. Alec Hunter is here to stay. Alec Hunter knows the way. Alec Hunter, king of crochet. Alec Hunter will make your day.
Boys, girls, and MBs of all shapes, sizes, colors, and orientations, welcome to the one and only Alec Gunter stream. My name is Alec Gunter. I will be your host today, as always. Good to be here. Had an interesting day. So, always good to be here after an interesting day. How's it going, everybody? How's it going? You may notice... oh, if you weren't here for the... what is it called? My brain's kind of fried today, I apologize. For no reason. I didn't drink or take any edibles last night. For... What the fuck was I about to say? Oh my god. I'm doing great. Now I remember. You may notice if you were not here for the fundraiser that the video quality has substantially improved. And the reason for that is that I had before, I had a $15 capture card, and now I have a $100 capture card. So it's much better. Turns out, sometimes you gotta pay a little bit more money to get something a little better. I was told that the $15 capture card would suffice, but apparently that is only for games, and only if you don't want like really high quality capture footage. So yeah. Also good on my end to be in a Gunter stream. Welcome. Welcome in everybody. Oh, I thought somebody knocked on the door. It's just a washer. Always good to be here. I tried to go work out today. Okay, so let me start with what I've been working on, actually. Let me show you guys what I've been working on. Somebody in the last stream said if I made a Gengar, that they would buy it. So guess what I did? So here's how it started. Right, we got a nice purple oval. You know, that took a little bit. This is actually the easy part, like making the body itself. It's always the easy part. It's kind of, it's nice. It's time consuming, but, you know, just sitting there like crocheting row after row. It's very nice, very cathartic. And then we jump ahead to the ears. I've added the ears now. And this was all like yesterday and last night, mind you. Or no, the day before. I had work yesterday. So this was all the day before yesterday. And then I tried to put on the eyes as well, but these were a little bit too high. A lot bit too high, actually. And also I decided the eyes were a little bit too small. So I fixed it. Do I have a picture of it? Yeah, here we go. So I fixed it. So here's a little comparison. I think it's much better this way. Made them a little bit bigger. Also made the black part of the eye felt instead of marker. I just think it looks much better this way. And then I want to show you what it looks like right now. So let me grab it. Here he is. Also, I'm going to pause the music. I feel like it's starting to get annoying. It's fine for the intro, but I need more songs for my intro. So there he is. There's the boy. I sewed on some arms. Now, I am following a pattern, but what I decided to do is kind of freehand the arms a little bit. I took a note from the Snorlax doll that I did because the arms were like flappy, and I wanted him to have flappy arms. So here we go. So now he's got flappy arms instead of like stock, not stock, still unmovable arms, which is nice. So, and he's got a big old toothy grin. So yeah, he's coming along quite nicely. I still got to do legs for him. Unfortunately, I got to put a pin in it because I am nearly out of purple yarn. I have enough probably to do like the spikes, but not the legs. And I went to the store today to get more, and they were out. So I got to put a pin in it for right now. But here he is so far. The eyes and the mouth are made of felt, and then the black part right here is yarn. And I'm hoping that it all stays together for the client. If they choose to reveal themselves, they can. But yeah. I think it's coming along pretty well. The only thing with this kind of yarn is that it sheds very easily. So like there's fluff everywhere. And hopefully that's not like as big of a problem Like like whoever wants it has it, right? But like while you're crocheting and working with it, it just sheds so much, and I had to like vacuum the carpet and everything. Wouldn't it have been easier to crochet Haunter and then he'll evolve when traded? That's pretty true. Good point. Although Haunter has hands that don't attach to his body. So I haven't quite figured out how to crochet with invisible yarn yet. I imagine it's probably not easy, so yeah. But yeah, there he is. So this is probably my best work so far. It's nice and tightly stitched. I think that for the, I mean, it's a little bit flawed. I think that I could have put the eyes a little bit closer to the mouth. I think I could have put the arms up a little bit higher. But I think it looks like a really solid product. I think it looks really good. Also, I think if I had put the arms up any higher, he wouldn't have had as free movement as he does right now. Like right here, his arms, like being held up like this looks really good. I feel like if I had put him any higher, he would have ran into the ears too much. So I think that's fine. But yeah, there he is, the boy. And he has been hug tested by Katie, and she loves him. Did I show you guys the blowhage yet? I know that I was in the middle of telling you about my day, but give me a minute. Did I show you guys the blowhage yet? Or the blowhigh? Some of you know him as blowhage because that's how it's spelled, but it's pronounced blowhigh. Because I did the teeth. And, yeah. It's a bit British. Teeth are a bit fucked up, bruv. Bit fucked up. I'm thinking about redoing it with felt. Because you can just cut this off and like throw it away. It's not a big deal. But some people like it. Some people really like the fucked up teeth. They think it's cute. So what I might do is put them on, like when I'm done with them. When I'm done with them, I might put them on the cookie cutter blow high. Yeah. Don't sharks have like multiple lines of teeth? Yes. But not blow high. Here, I'll show you a picture. Oh, that's a good one. So here's a picture of like what he actually looks like with his teeth. It's just one row. I think the problem is that I tried to do this with big yarn, and the pattern that I'm following is for little yarn. So I think what I might do, I'll put him on the market, see if anybody wants him. I'll just call it like Funny Teeth Shark. Probably. Funny Teeth Shark. And if nobody wants him after a while, I might just cut it off and then replace it with felt and then sell it as a blow high, like a proper blow high. Yeah. Although with felt, it's going to take a little bit. Ugh. So whatever. Blow high literally just means blue shark. Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah. I'm proud of myself for trying. Let's see, do I have any other updates? I forgot to show you one thing. There you are. I looked up a pattern and I'm making a tiny Elmo for a friend of mine. It's not done yet, but he's almost done. He just needs eyes and a big orange nose, and then he'll be done. And he sits. Kind of. He's very top heavy. There we go. I think that's it. I bought big trans-colored yarn. I got the blue, the pink, and the white. I don't know what I'm gonna make with it yet. I thought about making another trans-colored blow high, but I'm not sure. I don't think that's how you pronounce blowhigh. That is how I was told it is pronounced, but let me look it up.
How do you pronounce this name? A plush toy by Swedish company IKEA. Depending on the Norse language you're talking about, it has different pronunciations. Let's break them down.
Oh, come on.
Blåhoj is one of the pronunciations. Blåhoj.
Okay, so blahaj is one of the proper pronunciations. There's no W sound in blow.
Is one of the pronunciations Swedish, I believe. Let me know in the comments. Blåhoj.
Blahoj.
Alternative pronunciations in other Norse languages include blåhaj, blå,
See, blowhigh.
high, blåhaj, or blåhaj, blåhaj. So,
Blahaj.
overall, 3 different pronunciations.
So it's blahaj. So blahaj is a proper pronunciation, which I'll probably stick with because that's how it looks. And then there's blowhigh and then there's blahaj. But I like blahaj the best. I just think it sounds funny. Blahaj. But yeah, like I said, if I make another blahaj shark, I will definitely be using felt for the teeth. I tried following the pattern and yeah, I need to improvise. I don't think Swedes do that SJ sound on J, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, I was working on the Gengar today, and then I was like, okay, I have got to go work out. I've got to go work out because I have not worked out in weeks. And I went to work out, and I got through my bench press. I got through dips, and I got through like half of what I was supposed to do with leg press, and I was cooked. I was done. I couldn't do any more after that. I am so detrained. It is tragic. I'm not lifting nearly what I used to. And I'm a little disappointed in myself, but I just got to keep going back. Like, I tell myself every single week, if you can just go there like 4 days this week, or at least 3. If you can go there 3 days this week and just do what you can, you're going to get it. And every time I throw, because I just don't go. I just simply do not go. So this week's going to be different. I'm going to go. I'm going to go at least 3 days. I'm going to try to do 4, but we'll see what happens. Cheaper than a blahaj from your mom. I'm glad you guys like that line. Okay. Is there anything else that's been going on? I don't think so. How are you guys doing, chat? How's chat doing? I want to hear from good old chat. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to finish all of the shit that I have, like start working on like either finish the projects that I have or at least start new projects with the yarn that I have because I keep buying new. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I forgot to show you. I have one more. I remember at least. Okay, so I started making an oddish. So here's his body. And then this was going to be his leaves. But unless I would like an emo oddish, which, not going to lie, that'd be cute. Okay. Get like a little eye right there. You know, a little emo boy. But unless I want an emo oddish, I will have to redo this, probably. And then crochet around some wire. And then I think that's it. Emodish, yeah. Feel kind of lazy today? Yeah, I also felt extremely lazy today. I don't know what it is, man. I'm just like tired lately. And when I say lately, I mean like the last year. I am just tired. I don't know if I'm just getting old. I have no clue. My AC brought so expensive. Oh, you bought an AC? Nice. Oddish is the weed Pokemon? No. The weed Pokemon's that new cat. Spregatito. No, it's pronounced spregatito. Which I believe just means grass cat. Or like, what is a sprig? A small stem bearing leaves or flowers. So it's like a stem cat. Here, because I'm nervous. Because I know what degenerates do. With innocent small beans. Weed cat. I'm a stem cat. Oh, nice. I've been more motivated to make YTPs at least. Nice, okay. Just started a match of Rainmaker and Splatoon 3 on an all-nighter. Nice. Just lost the match typing that. Oof. You should have done that. Smoke 'em on. Leaf Cat team up with Fire Cat. I thought, yeah, there are a lot of cat Pokemon. And there are Pokemon also that like are loosely cat-like, but might be foxes, might be dogs, we're not sure. Like, Vulpix is obviously a fox. It's a seven-tailed fox, which evolves into the nine-tailed fox, of course. But then you got, what's Luxio? There's Luxio, Luxray, and then what's the first form of that one? Shinx. Shinx. I'm pretty sure Shinx is a cat, but I'm not sure. The Japanese sure love their cats. Sure. They're also, I think there are even more dog Pokemon. There's like Houndour, Growlithe. They added like 3 dog Pokemon to the latest one. They got Doxbun, right? Meowth is a cat. Yes, good call. Luxury is supposed to be like a lion. Gotcha. There's also like the legendary quote-unquote dogs. But they're obviously based off of cats. They're based off of cats. You got Suicune's based off of a leopard. Raikou's based off of a cheetah. And then Entei's based off of a lion. Or a tiger, maybe, for Raikou. But Entei's clearly a lion, and Suicune's clearly a leopard. The only one I could see you making an argument for being a dog is like maybe Entei. Maybe. But the other two are clearly cats. I ended up winning next match? Nice. He looks very drugged out, blazed out of his mind. Who does? Sprigatito? Hope you don't mean me. I was, I forget who said that I always look drugged out. Somebody said I always look high. I don't know who said that, but I respect your opinion. I meant the kitty. Gotcha. I think they're technically the legendary beasts. This is a long-running debate. Yeah, but they're based off of cats. Like, canonically based off of cats. Arcanine's the best legendary. Pseudo-legendary, technically. I saw your Arcanine plush. It's very nice. I always looked high even before I smoked regularly. Yeah, sometimes you just got resting toque face. You know? Resting blaze face. The plush is bigger than me. That's insane. I don't know if I could make a plush that big. Somebody did crochet a life-sized Dratini. You guys want to see that? If you didn't know, Dratini is not teeny. Dratini is 5'11". So that's how big it would be. It's a little bit smaller, but like that would be a realistic like on the small end Dratini. But somebody made a video. Dratini crochet. Yeah.
Are you insane? Like
That's probably copyright music. Yeah, that's nuts. What is that in real units? 5'11". Height conversion. Why would you default to a mile? Why a mile? Here, let's just say 6 feet. Or you gonna... What is even Google anymore? What the fuck does Google even do for me anymore? Okay, I know that... I don't know the exact conversion. Hold on. Here. 5 feet, 11 inches. No. Convert for... Okay, here we go. Convert. Here you go. 180 centimeters. 1.8 meters. Had a good day at work. 2 myocardial perfusion scans and a high HIDA scan. Nice. What's a H? Is it pronounced HIDA? I don't know how to turn off that AI shit, but I need to turn it off. A hepatobiliary aminodiacetic acid scan. Imaging procedure used to diagnose problems with the liver, gallbladder, and bile ducts. Oh, very nice. Okay, I've heard of this. I've not heard the name of it, but I know what it is and what it entails. You like inject dye into the bloodstream, and it lights up the liver, gallbladder, and bile ducts. Right? Oh no, a radioactive tracer travels through, so it's not used. It doesn't use dye. We're learning. The tracer travels through the bloodstream to the liver, where the bile-producing cells take it up. The tracer then travels with the bile into the gallbladder and through the bile ducts to the small intestine. A nuclear medicine scanner called a gamma... Nuclear! They're injecting you with nuclear radioactivity. Called a gamma camera. See, a gamma camera? That's fun to say. Tracks the flow of the tracer from the liver into the gallbladder and small intestine and creates computer images. That's pretty cool. That's nuts. You can just, like, send a camera into the bile ducts now and take fucking pictures. That's insane. Well, thank you for the lesson, Carramrad. I didn't know about that procedure. Stuff like Cortana is also illegal here. I wish it were illegal here. I don't get the AI stuff. I get it because they're trying to... They're just trying to make everything AI because it's cheaper and easier. They're trying to feed you slop. That's all they're doing. They're trying to feed you slop. You know, I really did not think I would have to pee this early in the stream, but here we are. I'll try to hold it until right before we do the segment. Nuke med, baby. I'm trying to decide what I want to crochet next. I know I already said this. I want to do a transblahage. Sort of. I also thought about doing a trans Gengar because that's a funny play on words. But I think the things that, like, I want to... I want to crochet things that people will actually buy. So, like, I think somebody would probably buy a trans Blahage. Somebody would probably buy a trans Gengar. Obviously, people would buy, like, any Pokemon as long as it's well made. I don't think that Droopy back here is, like, well made enough to sell for, like, 200 bucks, though. I mean, maybe, but it is, like, my first big projects. Do you hate tankies? With all my soul. Trying to look up walkthroughs of newer games is a pain in the ass because AI articles and auto answers are ass. It's so fucked, dude. It's so fucked. Shadiversity fell off hard. Yeah, one of my favorite videos that I've ever done is my Shadiversity AI video. Here, hold on. Yeah, it's also got the like a fucking banger thumbnail, dude. That's a great thumbnail. The only thing that's not like a so that's an asset from an image website that lets you use free assets, like the robot and the robot hand. And then I made the laser beam myself, and the only thing that's like not made by me or not like allowed to use, like Shad's picture in the back, is the AI artwork, which I just randomly generated in an AI program for this purpose. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good Oh yeah, I never actually watched this. I can't do it. I just cringe too much. But let's watch this.
See, that was...
Here, wait. Where's a good part?
Of very intentional action taken by myself. This wasn't the AI pushing for these results. That was me.
Daddy, the machine won't work faster.
Yes. The image. Still not
Perfect.
perfect.
You won't give me what I want.
In Photoshop.
Daddy!
Removing lines.
The
also
machine
edited
isn't
this
painting
video
what
myself.
I want,
Defining
Daddy.
certain shapes.
Did you try
fixing up
hitting it,
colours and
daughter?
more.
Oh, I
Back
haven't
into
tried
image
that
to
yet,
image,
Daddy.
we're going to do another generation that
Faster,
will come up
faster,
lower
machine.
setting,
Paint
because
what
we
I
don't
want,
the
paint what
AI
I
to change
want.
The image too much at this point.
Don't make
But
me
what we
do
want
it, Daddy.
is the AI
Oh, never
to
for you,
blend
dear.
all those edits together so
Thank
they
you,
look
Daddy. I love you.
And look at
Work
the
fast.
result.
Okay, that's good. You guys get the idea. I had a lot of fun with that one. We're gonna watch another Shadiversity video today. It'll be great. Found you just a week ago. Really love the energy you bring to your live streams. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do try to bring the juice, as it were. As an American, are you vote blue no matter who? I guess technically you could call me that, but I feel like saying that just removes the critiques that I have of the Democratic Party. So I would say no, because I think that's oversimplifying it. Like, I'm going to vote Democrat over Republican regardless. That's just a given. But if a better option presents itself, are you voting Biden? Yes. If he's the front runner, which I'm hoping they replace him, but he's got to step down voluntarily. He has to do that, unfortunately. But yes, I will be voting Democrat in the election. As far as I know, Scalagrim and Robin swords do the same kind of medieval weapons content, but haven't had any politics ever. Well, everything's political. So yeah. Yeah. Just saying. Just to point out how they're moving the goalpost and shifting the conversation to a different issue. Oh, sorry. Is this... Hold on. I don't know what that's referring to, sorry. Pal World best game? It's not! It sucks ass. I played it, like, I was addicted to it, and even while I was addicted to it, it sucked ass. What's this? Crochet Zorya? Oh yeah, I've seen this. Yeah, I thought about doing this pattern. I thought about it. I did a similar one with the Cyndaquil. The Cyndaquil one's even smaller, though. It also still needs flames. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. Vote for the best candidate that has a chance to win, and then make us think about why there's so few choices between elections. Yes, I agree. Third party is just not viable right now. My inclination is that if Biden steps down, Trump is almost guaranteed to win, and we'd get a worse Democrat. I disagree. I think that Kamala Harris has a much better shot against Trump for the explicit reason that she can actually bring up, you know, shit that Trump can't really combat. You know, she's well-spoken. I've actually been K-Hive pilled. I've been K-Hive pilled, guys, by Emma Vigilant on the Majority Report. Emma Vigilant is K-Hive now, and so am I. I've been watching Majority Report a lot, and Emma Vigilant, it's actually kind of adorable. She's like all about Kamala Mama. So I'm on that train too. I want Kamala. It's not even that I particularly love Kamala or anything. I love Emma so much. It's just like, she'd be so much better than Biden at this point, man. She'd be so much better. I'm in your Discord. Debate me, bro. I take you up on that. I hope Kamala replaces Biden. Yes, that would be nice. Oh, it was about someone else's reaction to Shadiversity's gay animal video and how they say it's bad to justify being gay because animals do it because animals also eat their babies. Well, yeah, but the reason that we bring up that animals are gay is because they say being gay isn't natural. Power World sucks because it could have been BG3 with Pokemon and guns, but instead it's Pokemon with guns and feudalism. Pokemon. I don't know what Pokemon means. But yeah, no, I think that it sucks because it just throws together a bunch of different gameplay elements from all these different games, and it's like, what even is this game? Like, what is it supposed to be? Where's the enjoyment? Because all you do is upgrade. You just keep on like upgrading to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. There's no story. There's no attachment to your mons, you know? Like you can, okay, so you can have a game where you abuse, like you're allowed to abuse your mons, right? Like your Pokemon or whatever you want to call them. Like your monsters, your creatures. You can have a game where you're allowed to do that and also allow you to get attached to them. You know what I mean? Do you love Brits? No. In all seriousness, I don't really care about what country you're from, as long as you're cool. I do rip into the Brits a lot, though, just FYI. Power World is like fast food. It's not necessarily that great or well made, but depending on your mood, you still could have some fun. Yeah, I think that you need to play it with friends. Hot take, I still love Pokemon Go. It's not a bad game, it's just not for me anymore. Yeah, it's cute, but there's not much game. I agree. The bar is so fucking low, like Fakemon, like it's trying to be, but isn't. Yeah, it's just not great. It could have been a lot better. I was saying a good response is to point out how they're shifting the goalpost to a different topic. Oh, I'm so sorry, Azriel. I've misunderstood you twice now. My apologies. I see what you're saying. I think that saying, okay, so if they say that, in my opinion, right? If they say that being gay isn't natural, the proper response is you can make a good argument for animals are gay. That, you know, like that's a proper argument. That's fine. And then if they say, well, animals also eat their young, then you can say, okay, well, you think that natural means good. So do you think that you should eat your babies? Like, do you eat your babies? Like, there's all kinds of ways you can spin it. And then the other thing you could do is say that nothing's natural that we do. Like, nothing is natural that we do, you know? That's the other thing you could do. Because like you could say, listen, you're wearing glasses, those aren't natural. You're wearing clothes, those aren't natural. You live in a house with AC. You eat food that's not natural. Everything that you do is not natural. You should go live in a cave, shit in a bucket. Not even a bucket. Buckets aren't natural. Shit in a cave. Sorry. Live in a cave, shit in a hole, drink out of the shit water. That's what you should do because that's natural, quote unquote. And be naked. Because clothes are unnatural. Basically, anything man-made is considered unnatural. All the way back to and including controlled fire. I had the same argument with my dad, and he seems to think anything unnatural. And yes, he wears glasses, so I pointed that out to him. Yeah, pure silence after that. Yeah, my dad accused me of backing him into a corner once. Or like trying to back him into a corner. And it's like, yeah, I am. Because I'm trying to get to the bottom of your fucking arguments. You can't both say being gay is bad because it's unnatural and then also say natural doesn't mean good. Animals eat their young. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. How much have I missed? I did a crochet update, which I don't mind bringing it back on screen real quick. I gotta pee anyway. Here, I'll just show you the main thing you missed. This has been my big project for the last few days, is Gengar. And then we also talked about gay stuff and why being gay is fine. For those who have not seen this yet, I modified the pattern a bit so that it can have floppy arms. I think it's pretty good. Fuzzy and soft. It is very fuzzy and soft. The one drawback of this yarn, well, two drawbacks while you're making stuff. The one is it's really, if you know what a magic ring is, it's really hard to work with a magic ring just because it's hard to pull. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. And then the other thing is it sheds like crazy. It doesn't shed too bad unless you're actually like, you know, working with it. So it should be fine like once it gets to the buyer. But while you're working with it, I had to vacuum my floor before I started because it was like everywhere. So, but it looks fine. I mean, it doesn't like affect how it looks at all. So good thing too, because he said he'd put me in a mental hospital for saying my sexuality is normal. Really? Jesus Christ. That's nuts. He should be put in a fucking mental hospital just for thinking that. It's as Eminem said, if we're all just animals, then why can't a man and another man, why is it that a man and another man can't elope? Something like that. You can't say both being gay is bad is unnatural, then say being gay doesn't mean good animals eat their young. Like they're refuting their own previous statement there. It doesn't matter. Conservatives don't care. That's why debates have fallen off, because conservatives simply do not care. They will say whatever bullshit comes to mind and expect you to gobble it up. Anyway, let me go put this back, because I know what you guys came for. You all came for the juice. You all came for the react juice. So let me go put this back real quick. Let me go pee, and then we're going to start reacting. So give me just a second here. I'll try to be back before both of these songs end. Hello, I'm back. I muted the wrong thing. Why is this even here? Okay. That Gengar honestly looks like an official plush you can get. Thank you. I appreciate that. Means I did good. I think the only thing that I wish is that I'd put the arms like one stitch higher. It's also a teensy bit uneven. Like I could sit here and scrutinize my own work all day, but you know, I'm a perfectionist, so there you go. Definitely better than some of my previous work. I mean, I don't know who, if you were here for this. Oh, jeez, bruv. Oh, me teeth's a bit fucked, bruv. But, yeah. I don't even know if I could do this again, like, if I tried. Like, I don't know if I could do any better. So, it's just hard. It's, like, the pattern that I followed was made, brovhaj. The pattern that I made, it with is, British torpedo, yeah. It was made for smaller yarn, and I used big yarn, so. Bearded shark. Is it bearded shark? Bearded shark. I don't even know. Oh my god, that is a thing. The shaggy bearded shark. Who would have guessed? There it is. Very interesting. Okay, time for some juice. I have way too much shit open. Hold on. Playlists. Here we go. I can't stand it when you load a page. You want to know what really grinds my gears? When you load a page and, like, you try to click a button and then right before you click it, another button appears in its place. You know what I mean? I can't stand that. And YouTube does that really bad. Alex Blahash saying, it's Tuesday, mate. Smashing day for a pint. British racism. We love British racism. It's Tuesday, isn't it? All right. So, unfortunately, Pride Month is over, and it is now Murica Month. Nonetheless, gay people are still a thing. Yes, that is true. It's correct, if you can believe it. Gay people do not just crawl back into a hole once Pride Month is over. So gay people still exist. They're still relevant. And so we're going to go over something that was uploaded during Pride Month from a channel called Night's Watch. You may know him as Shadiversity. It's called It's Good Because Animals Do It, question mark, exclamation point, question mark. The thumbnail, you can kind of see it over here, is, it says queer planet. They want a queer world. So I guess he's going to be commenting on how animals are gay, and therefore, like, that's people's argument for why being gay is okay. When that's not the argument at all. That's brought up mainly because people say that being gay is unnatural, and then people are like, oh, well, here are some gay animals. Is that not natural? You know, and I think that's a fine argument to make. It's fine. So let's take a look at what Shad has to say about gay animals, because clearly it's been on his mind. Oh yeah, and for those who don't know who Shadiversity is, if you've been on the channel for a while, you've probably seen me go over his AI art shit. When he made, like, his wife into Superman, or Superwoman, sorry. It was really weird. We gotta look into, like, his sexual, I don't know if it's like a Superwoman fetish, if you'd call it. But he's definitely taken with Superwoman, so. Definitely got that from the AI art thing. He considers himself like an AI artiste, right? Which I don't think is a real thing. I think if you make AI art, you're just, like, shitty. Like, you want to be an artist, but you're not, so you just pretend to be. You're LARPing. He's also like a swordsman, sort of. Like, he does sword stuff, but not really well. And the sword fighting community, or the sword community, isn't very happy with him lately, so he's just a fail son in every way. Like, his YouTube channel's failing. It's not good. So let's take a look. Oh, hold on one sec. I forgot my headphones. It's much better this way. Okay, there we go.
Welcome back to the watch. And Oz, did you know the animals are
Hello.
gay?
The frogs are.
The
What
frogs
are they
are-
doing to the rest of them?
Frogs are gay. There is a new
Return of the Frogs.
documentary coming out on Peacock, which don't know why that sounds appropriate.
There's a gay documentary
Ha! Because
coming
it
out
says pee and cock.
cock.
I get it.
There is, right? And it's
I get
about
it, guys. I get it.
homosexuality in
joke.
the animal kingdom. And I
pretty
found
good.
this just so bafflingly bizarre
Mm.
that they would use this and frame it in such a way to try and say homosexuality, everyone, that's just a normal thing in the animal kingdom. Animals do it, so therefore it's normal for humans to do it. And I was like,
Yeah, why not?
hang on, are you really using
But once again, that's a straw man. Because nobody is saying that like animals are doing it, therefore it's okay for humans to do it. It's a response to being gay is unnatural. That's why people say that. It's in response to that statement and that sentiment. What's up?
Hi, no, I'm just going out for a second. I gotta pick up.
Sure. Have fun.
that framing to try and justify a practice that humans do because animals do it? Do they have any idea what animals also do?
Yeah.
That's just going to be this whole video, isn't it? Do I even have to watch the rest of this? This entire thing is just going to be animals also eat each other. Animals also rape each other. Animals also do this and that. Like, okay, I get it. I get it. Like, animals are not saints.
Also, I'm a gay person, and I'm exceptionally unnatural. I'm unnaturally good at being gay.
There you go.
There it is.
Animals are gauged. True. Did you know animals shit in the woods? Yeah, true. If I had a cock, I'd be too. Yeah. Cock havers, go ahead and pee. If you're a cock haver in the chat, pee. Pee now. Literally, humans are also classified as animals, so like, what's the issue? Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's a weird discussion to get into, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
They eat their own young!
Yeah.
There we
Oh,
go.
but gays don't.
No! They don't.
Why is he staring at us?
That's dark.
Is he okay? Who is this guy? What's his name? Mr. Neckbeard over here, and Neckbeard extraordinaire. Like, why are you staring? What's the deal? Like, and what's this cloak here that you got? It looks like it's dripping off of you. Not in a good way. You look like you're LARPing. Both of them do.
Fuck, man.
So you don't get to believe in gay animals and evolution at the same time. You don't
Abysmal
get
drip.
to.
Explain that.
What?
Because evolution is traits go.
Yeah.
if they
What are
help
you talking
I know,
about?
I know. It's
Gays
gay
can't
relationships.
Okay, let me give you guys a little bit of insight into how evolution works. It works by the process of good enough. That's good enough for survival, okay, and reproduction. It's good enough, okay? So you get genetic mutations, you get all kinds of wibbly wobbly wacky dacky shit, okay? And it's not perfect. There's a very imperfect process. If it were perfect, we would see animals that are very well attuned to their environment, which we do, but they would be so well attuned that like there would probably be no gay animals because they would purely be sexually reproducing. And I don't know, like it's a very imperfect process, and that's, and so if the entire thing, I'm stuttering so much. Still waking up. My point is, evolution is a very imperfect process. So, yeah, and whiptail lizards exist too. And also asexual reproduction exists, okay? So like there's all kinds of ways that animals like do things sexually. And also like seahorses like have the males carry the babies, like and also there's a thing called penis jousting. You guys know what penis jousting is? They would really like this probably. Penis jousting that's the scientific term, I'm not kidding. It's a phenomenon in which a certain species of sea slug that's how they have sex, basically, because they have both organs for reproducing. And so they get into a penis jousting competition, and whichever one penetrates the other first wins, and then they get to impregnate the other one, and that actually helps them that's how they reproduce. And then the one who wins gets to go ahead and reproduce with other people, and the one who loses is stuck with the pregnancy. Yeah, just look at snails. What I was trying to say before is evolution is a very imperfect process. If evolution has the quote-unquote goal of like reproduction, then yeah, you wouldn't see gay animals. But we do see gay animals, and that's because evolution is very imperfect.
Obviously, right? It doesn't mean it didn't happen, but these are like animals that,
and it's fine. It's also fine.
Made of the opposite gender.
So who's going out and molesting all these animals?
And a lot of these animals, right? They also resort to it as the last option.
So wait, does that mean that he doesn't believe in evolution? Because he knows that gay animals exist, right? So he's just saying that evolution doesn't exist. So he's like an anti-evolution guy. Is that what I'm getting? That's cool as fuck. What do lesbians get? Lesbians get lizards. You have lesbian lizards. You guys know what lesbian lizards are? New Mexico whiptail. Somebody mentioned it in chat. Whiptail lizards are all female. Many species of whiptail lizards are all female. These badass ladies figured out how to clone themselves so they wouldn't have to bother having sex with males to maintain their species. This natural form of cloning is called parthenogenesis, and it isn't as complicated as it sounds. So yeah, they just pop a piece of them off, and basically just pop a piece of themselves off, and it becomes a baby, and like they just clone themselves. It's sick, you know? Nature's crazy. You get cloning, yeah. He's Mormon? Oh, okay. So yeah, they don't believe in evolution. Got it. Very smart.
A lot of animals that resort to homosexual attractions are usually because they can't find a mate of the opposite sex.
Huh.
Yeah, religion isn't
like,
natural too. True.
I can't put it in anything else, so you'll do.
So if a squirrel can't find a lady squirrel, he'll find a dude squirrel to bust a nut.
In a lot of cases, right?
That's not always how it happens. That's not how it happens. It's not like... I don't know to what extent experiments have been done on this, but there are absolutely like gay squirrels. There are squirrels who are male who prefer squirrels that are male. That is a thing that exists. You can't get around that.
See dogs, they're willing to freaking hump anything. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
So if a beaver can't find a lady beaver...
because the point is, a lot of these cases of the
Ew,
homosexual...
did you see that
beaver
smile?
can't find a lady beaver.
because the point is...
He thinks he's so quirky, dude. He thinks he's so cute. Dude, you look disgusting. Go get a haircut.
A lot of these cases of the homosexual sex of the animals aren't...
That hairstyle's a choice.
The animals are legitimately gay. There might be some few small instances, right? But sometimes a lot of them is that these animals are super horny and they just needed to bust a nut in something.
Super horny.
Or they're
so
just
if a
gay.
bull can't
They're
find
on
a heifer,
heaps.
he'll get a buck.
There are cases...
Worth reminding you guys, the only reason we're having this discussion in the first place is because they hate gay people. That's the only reason.
Cases, right?
Otherwise,
okay,
this wouldn't matter.
Still, like, we're not going to watch much of this, but just like this is the
Our
whole...
planet is home to over 11 million species.
There's more animals than that. Surely.
Why do they show mushrooms?
Because when the thing that starts these gay animals going at it is they eat the wrong mushroom in the forest.
You reckon?
I reckon.
Ha ha ha.
The
Funny.
paparazzi really are everywhere.
Everything you were taught as a kid is wrong.
Was those gay lions? They are. They're gay lions. Fucking. That's awesome, dude.
The paparazzi really are everywhere.
There's also trans lions, if you guys didn't know. When the male lion of the pride dies and there's not another male to replace them, a female can actually be stimulated to grow a mane, and they become essentially the male dominant lion. Isn't that insane? That's crazy. Nature is wild, dude.
Everywhere.
That's why they call it the wild.
As a kid is wrong.
No. Hang on. Are they trying to say that, like, heterosexual, sexual relationships are the norm for many species on Earth. That's not wrong. Just because there are exceptions to the norm doesn't disprove the norm.
I honestly think they're going to be like, everything you've been told as a kid was wrong.
Okay, obviously, the reason that sex is a pleasurable activity is to stimulate reproduction. Everyone knows that, okay? But for one thing, again, evolution's a very tricky and imperfect process. And for another thing, who actually gives a shit? Like you guys don't care about science. You're fucking Mormons. You're Mormons. Like, you do not care about science. You don't care about any of this. You just hate gay people. That's all this is.
Wrong. Okay, it's actually gay relationships that produce offspring.
They want to rewire, people, basically.
The conspiracy theory.
This is an attempt to socially engineer and teach a new doctrine to people.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. And this whole thing is just another really bizarre one where
I wonder if they think the Jews are doing it. What do you guys think? Probably, right?
I have trouble understanding
The only
how
thing they're
they
missing.
honestly thought the framing of this helped their cause out, because trying to say that,
Because you said it's unnatural, so they proved that it's completely natural that other animals do it. And even if other animals didn't do it, I don't care. Okay, being gay doesn't affect me. If other people are gay, it doesn't affect me. All right, I'm a little gay too. All right, not for either of you idiots, because you guys look like shit. Okay, but I'm a little bit gay for people who look nice and well kempt and a little bit feminine. Okay, I like feminine guys. All right, and there's nothing wrong with that. If I want to rail a feminine dude in the ass, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't hurt you guys at all. As long as that person consents, it is totally, completely fine. And I don't understand the problem.
Homosexuality should be treated and regarded exactly equivalent as heterosexuality.
I'm gay for
right?
myself based.
Because animals can be gay as well. It's just like, no. Animals will murder. They will eat their own kind. They will eat their own young. No.
Okay.
The fact that humans are able to rise above base animal instinct is what sets us apart of every other animal species on Earth.
Yeah.
Critical thing.
So eating your own young is a bad thing to do, right? Murdering is a bad thing to do. Being gay is not a bad thing to do. This is like an argument that's like, well, Hitler also breathed air, and you breathe air, so therefore you must be Hitler, right? Like, that's the argument they're making, essentially, is that animals eat their young, animals murder, and animals are sometimes gay, and therefore, if you're gay, you're like a baby-eating murderer. It's so stupid. Yeah, humans also do that, too. It's not like humans have the highest rate of murder on the fucking planet. Hello, we should go on a date? I'll have to ask my fiance.
Thinking, understanding moral complexity, okay? Actually comprehending good and evil is what sets humans apart. And that's why we can see certain behaviors in the animal kingdom and say, if we were to do it, that would be wrong, right? Like infanticide. Is that infanticide? Infanticide, right? Yeah, that's horrendous and evil. Some animals do.
Nobody's saying that infanticide's okay, man. This is such a straw man.
You do not know. You don't know Clarkson's Farm?
The only farmer I know is Old MacDonald.
I was this close to slapping you.
They're completely
original. I was like, I was ready to just go.
Hey,
it's one of the greatest shows on TV at the moment. It's not on TV. It's on Amazon.
Well, there you go. It's not even on TV.
It's Jeremy Clarkson.
Oh.
It's freaking amazing.
What's he doing? Punching producers?
He's running a farm, man.
Punching milk producers?
It's actually unironically
Get to
one
the
of
point.
best shows on.
What is his tangent?
Huh.
It's so good.
He runs a farm.
And so on season 3, which I watched recently, he got some pigs and he makes up a paddock, makes some homes for them, and one of the pigs he actually bought was already pregnant and has some strange babies. And so he comes back, the other day after they're delivered, and one of the babies is missing, except an ear. The mother ate it.
Oh. I thought it was some sort of Van Gogh pig.
No, the mother just ate.
This is such a strange reference to pull up. I get it. Animals eat their babies sometimes. It's like, is that all we're going to talk about? Like, make an actual argument against why people should be gay.
One of its
like
own
why people
babies.
should, like, for why people shouldn't
Right?
be gay, I guess.
Pigs. Yeah, pigs, they're willing to eat pretty much anything.
Damn, why are pigs so selfish and greedy?
So, again, this is just bizarre. This just seems like really weird. And now, of course, I don't have an issue with gay people, okay? I have an issue with them trying to put, lifestyles in, like I'd say you must watch, the gay sex or you're a bigot or something like that, like they did with that.
That's right, I'm a white name. You don't have to be, though, if somebody gifts you. If we can get any gifters over here.
TV, that movie, the gay rom-com
Gifty
bros,
subs.
right? They legitimately trying to say straight people, guys, were homophobic for not wanting to watch a movie with explicit gay sex in it. It's like, you do realize that straight men are not attracted to other men, and so they do not like watching sexual acts.
I don't believe that. I fully believe that they're mischaracterizing what happened.
Of men engaged. This is not a bizarre concept, right? But they will legitimately try to attack people and say, no, you're homophobic for it.
I have never heard somebody get upset at somebody else for not wanting to watch gay sex. That's never been a thing. You are making this up. You're making it up. Like, nobody gets upset about that.
We're living in clown world at this point, okay?
I agree, but
in
not for the
terms
reasons
of,
you think.
Oh, someone's gay? Doesn't mean spit to me. It's a nothing. It's like saying someone has
Then shut up
blue
about it.
eyes or blonde hair, right? That's how much of a nothing it is to me.
There we go.
I gift a sub to tell you you get the honor of being what I watch on my dog walk. I never watch streams on dog walks.
Thank you very much, Straw Hat Monty, for the gift sub to Ghost of Avalon. I really appreciate you.
As to my regard for them as an individual and as a person, and how much I'm willing to be friends with them, associate with them, or anything.
And shut up about
it means nothing to me. Also, I have as much little interest or regard into their sexual practices and their private life. Don't want to know about it. I don't want you to know about my private life. I'm not going to share it with you. I'm not going to go in when I meet people and say, do you know I'm straight and married, and then go into private acts and stuff
Nobody
like,
does
like
this.
that.
Nobody walks up to somebody else and is like, did you know I'm gay? When has that ever happened to you, Shad? Ever. I guarantee you that's never happened to him. He's just like, what's the meme where there's two of them. There's one where like a kid is like putting a boot on his own forehead like this, or on the side of his head. Like he's doing that. And then the other meme is like where it's like a cartoon where a guy paints like a bunch of monsters, and then he like curls up on the floor and gets upset at them. And those are the two memes that I think of when I hear this bullshit.
Yeah, it's so weird that
he is
the
upset.
extremists in the LGBT community, because not all the LGBT community like this. They don't like the extremists that are trying to push it so far and try and push it in front of kids and everything like that. And this documentary is another example of that, where they're trying to push it everywhere.
What do you mean push it in front of kids? LGBT kids are a thing. I hate this so much. It's like, well, it's fine. I just don't want it in front of the kids. There are gay and trans kids. There are gay and trans kids. They exist. So nobody's pushing anything in front of the kids. It's the kids themselves that are gay and trans, and you're making them uncomfortable, sometimes to the point of suicide. You know, I'm sorry to bring the mood down, but that's just the reality, is that people like this are driving children to kill themselves. You know, that's pretty fucked up.
Everywhere, but also make it equivalent to traditional relationships.
Just thinking. Because obviously they're going to... This is not...
Hold on,
But
what did you say?
also make it equivalent to traditional relationships.
This is just homophobia. Like, what's not equivalent about it? That they can't have babies? Okay, so then what you're telling me is that what you believe is that a couple who cannot have babies is not equivalent to a couple who can have babies. In some ways, that's true. I'll grant that. But that never comes up, right? It's like a cis man and a cis woman who cannot conceive a child for whatever reason. Maybe the cis man had a procedure done, or the cis woman had infertility going on. You know, you just don't know, right? But that's fine with them. That's fine. That's a good relationship that is equivalent to a relationship where both parties are able to conceive. but not gay relationships for some reason. Just for some reason, who's to say, right? Like, what's up with that, man? I've been queer my whole life, repressed for my entire teen years and early 20s, but here I'm late 20s and happy again. Good for you. You should be happy. You deserve it. Why are people always concerned with having babies all the time? Because they're breeders. They have breeding kinks. That's all it is. They think that, like, this is like Elon Musk having, like, what, 10 kids or whatever the fuck, like, with different people. Like, he wants to, like, he's literally, hasn't he literally said, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that he's literally said, like, he wants to populate the earth with, like, his fucking crotch goblins. Like, that's what he wants to do, because he just thinks that highly of himself, and he thinks he's that fucking smart, and, like, his semen is that delicious that, like, you know, it's gonna, like, yeah, he said something like that. It's disgusting. They're perverts. They're freaks. And they project the freakishness onto us.
Just thinking. Because obviously they're going to, this is another thing, like push it towards the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cow goes moo, the duck goes quack, the lion says, stop it.
That's a better
It's such an old fucking joke, man.
one. That's a clean-ish
I can say clean joke.
Yeah. Like, I would encourage you to go that way.
Also, there's nothing wrong with that joke. Like, I'd be fine with telling a kid that joke. It's not a bad joke. It's just old. And there's nothing wrong with telling a kid that.
I like those ones.
That's fine.
Stop.
And so I just wanted to point this
gotta
out
really get
and
into
show
it.
it. Like, maybe shall we try and suffer through a bit more of this?
Yeah.
Gay penguins, bisexual lions,
All right, so like the bisexual lions, in that case, it's because the male lion, is actually straight. He just couldn't get, mate with a.
But that's not always true. Sometimes it's literally just a coin flip of, like, whether the lion mates with a female or a male. Sometimes it's just a coin flip. They think your entire purpose is to breed and propagate your bloodline. Oh yeah, for sure. That joke is bad. It's worse than a dad joke. I think it can be cute. It can be cute. It depends on the context. Mormonism places a huge emphasis on breeding. Oh, absolutely. They have, like, don't Mormons believe that concubines are, like, okay? Like, it's fine to have concubines. Like, it's really fucked. Lions are gay as, like, a social thing. Oh, so they just, like, go out to the bar, like, hey, like, they just fuck each other as a greeting. That's pretty cool. Two dudes fucking each other just to say hi.
Normal, female lion.
Gay penguins, which one lays the egg?
None do.
Lesbian penguins, which one wins the fight?
sex-changing clownfish.
This is a queer planet.
Sex-changing clownfish.
But okay, let me go back real quick because I missed that.
Which one lays the egg?
None do.
But who cares? You all got a fucking breeding kink.
Lesbian penguins, which
Swear
one
to
wins the
God.
fight?
Sex-changing clownfish.
This is a queer planet.
Sex-changing clownfish.
Look at this. This is a queer
Yeah.
planet. That's what they want to. They want to make the world be perceived as queer. They want everything.
But clownfish do change their sex. They can. Not always, but they can. If the female dies, the male can become female. That's how that works, right? Like, clownfish can demonstrably change their sex.
They can do that.
As it turns out, they aren't homophobic, but just very disappointed that MPreg isn't a real thing. I mean, MPreg is a real thing, but not like... You can't be like... At this point in history, you cannot be a person who was born male and become pregnant. At least not yet. We're getting close.
To be gay. And that's just, I find that odd. It's like, hang on, I'm perfectly happy to be friends with you. Once upon a time, it was.
For the record, I don't even know why the fuck you would want to be pregnant. Like, it seems terrible. But to each their own.
Acceptance, tolerance, right? Not treating them any different or anything like that, which I think, yeah, that's good, right? But now it's celebration and promotion. It needs to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, to counteract the degradation. Because historically, there's been degradation and outcasts, like, because of this. Simply because of who you are as a person. So yes, I'm fine with them celebrating it. They deserve it.
What a gay planet. Why? Because they just hate straight white men. They've admitted this. We've done a video covering that this crazy streamer said legitimately that she will indoctrinate, if she has a son, she will indoctrinate him to be gay or trans.
Okay, I guarantee one of two things. One, that was tongue-in-cheek. Two, that never happened. One of the two.
Simply because she hates straight white men, because she believes all straight white men are misogynist.
Absolutely
That-
tongue-in-cheek.
It's insanity, but that's where it comes from.
See, this is the end result of animal husbandry.
You reckon?
I don't know what that word means, but I seem.
But I get what you're saying, because husbandry, husband, male, animal, you were trying to get a...
What the fuck? What?
Result of animal husbandry.
This is the end result
You
of
reckon?
animal husbandry? Doesn't that just mean animals... That just means when two animals, like, have a baby, right?
I don't know what that word means, but I seem.
But I get what you're saying, because husbandry, husband, male, animal, you were trying to get a play on words then. Not your best work.
If you don't know what a word means, don't try to use it in a sentence. Like, pre-planning animal partnering? Like for livestock? Okay, thank you. I thought that's what it was. Like, I thought it had to do with that, I should say. I was taught as a kid that I must have a partner in order to reach the highest kingdom. Wow. That's pretty cool. One sec. I sense sexual tension between the two LARPy lads. I don't know. They seem pretty repressed, honestly. I don't sense any sexual tension at all. I just sense sexual tension from outside the building. You know what I mean? Like, they can't get laid. Like, his wife won't fuck him anymore. I don't even know if he has a wife. I'd be very surprised. I'd be very surprised if they were gay.
Yeah. Look, I just don't want them.
Hey, I'll give him this. At least he's not pretending to sound smart. I'll give him a point for that, at least.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the frogs gay.
But he's not funny.
Or the lions.
I hear that was actually true.
It is true.
That the frogs were, their gender was getting changed because of the chemicals.
What's next? The zebra is going to be, every color of the rainbow? Huh?
That's basically it. This is just one of those weird things that's...
I think that would be, I think that'd be cool, first of all. And second of all, that's just not a good joke. Like, you can't riff, man.
It's like, this is not the win that you think it is. Comparing...
Like, I know my riff game during this segment has not been the best because this is my first segment of the day and I'm kind of tired, but, like, his riff game is not there.
Gay people or gay relationships to the animal kingdom is not good, all right? You should not try and justify practices based on what animals do, because animals are animals, right?
We've been over this, but again, it's just a response to people saying being gay isn't natural.
There's a reason
When it
why we
clearly
consider
is.
humans to be a higher life form. And yes, they are. We're animals in a sense of...
This is also, like, just homophobia. Because if you're saying that animals do things that humans shouldn't, and one of those things is being gay, you're saying that, like, and you also are saying that, like, humans are the higher life form. You're saying we're the higher life form because we can abstain from our homosexuality, which is very homophobic, you know? I'm sure they would, like, say, I'm not homophobic, bruv. I just, another Aussie. Not homophobic, mate. I just think the gays are a bit unnatural, even though clearly it's demonstrated here that they are natural, right? But I still don't think it's good because I'm Mormon. I don't have any actual jokes. I was just trying for the impression. I think I did okay job.
Of our, certain connection to the animal kingdom. But no,
I'll see.
We are higher beings with a higher form of intellect, which puts a greater standard on us in terms of what we do and trying to justify certain behavior.
I still don't know. I'm sorry I keep pausing. I still don't know if they, like, I mean, I can clearly tell from the content of this video and the fact that they made it in the first place that they're clearly homophobic, right? But they haven't even, like, given their opinion on gay people yet. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't sat here and said, like, you should or should not be gay due to this or that or the other. You know? Like, I would be interested in knowing what their answer to that is. Animal husbandry is when you... Yeah, we went over that, yeah. He's not homophobic. He just thinks your quote unquote lifestyle will result in you becoming soy jack, burning in his hell. Yeah.
With the behaviors of animal is bonkers.
Yeah.
You're just actually insulting and denigrating the thing that you're trying to promote. And that's something I wouldn't do because, you know, I think there's a lot of, it's funny, there's a lot of gay people that hate what the extremist LGBT community is doing to represent them.
Where are they?
In our comments, actually.
Well, I don't hear them, and so I'm going to represent the rest of them with...
No.
I mean, they're pick-me's for sure. I just think that it's fine to be gay in public. Like, it's fine. And when you say, like, pushing LGBT on the kids, like, that's a dog whistle. It's a pretty blatant one. It's a very loud, obvious dog whistle because you're just ignoring the fact that kids can also be gay and trans, which is gross because, again, those kids also need love and support. And telling them that a part of themselves is wrong or isn't appropriate or whatever the fuck you want to say is disgusting because it can drive them to depression and even suicide. So fuck you for that.
We covered Doctor Who recently about how crazy the LGBT propaganda they're pushing in. And I mentioned in that video that there's a lot of LGBT
What
people
propaganda?
that hate this insane push, especially to kill children's content. And I went through and there was a trans person and I think 3 to 4 gay people commenting in the comments saying, Shad, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I'm gay and
I don't
I'm sick
care.
of this stuff.
They're wrong. They're wrong. They're pick-me's. They're pick-me fucks. I don't care. They're wrong. You can be gay and homophobic. You can be trans and transphobic. How the fuck did I just drop to 12 viewers? I was at like 40 something. That's gotta be wrong. But yeah, you can be gay and homophobic. You can be trans and transphobic. You can be black and racist. You can be this and that and the other. Like, you like, just because you are of a demographic does not give you license to shit on said demographic. You can't do that.
They don't represent me, right? There's a lot of LGBT, you know, whatever identifying people that can't stand this.
I will also hand them, they're not going for the low-hanging fruit of like LGBTQI ABCDEFG. At least they're not doing that.
This insanity where it's pushed to the extreme, especially in front of kids.
However, I feel like if they identify
What
as
extreme?
LGBT, that's a political term, you know?
No, it's
some
not.
don't even want to identify and use the terminology. That's just the term that people...
They can join
just
that
say,
team.
Yeah, I'm gay and doesn't mean a thing.
Yep.
Okay? Like, does me being straight, you know, I don't use that as an identifying thing.
Have you been historically oppressed for your straightness? Like, have straight people been historically oppressed on account of being straight? No, they have not. And they still are not being oppressed on account of being straight. That doesn't happen. Okay? That's why LGBT is a thing, because lesbians, gays, bisexuals, and transsexuals, or transgenders, whatever, have both transgender and transsexual, because they're separate concepts, have all been historically oppressed on account of their identity as that thing. And that's why they're all lumped into that category, because they're usually also, like, being trans is not the same thing as being gay. Lesbian, gay, and bisexual are all kind of linked. But, like, the reason that gay and trans people are linked together into one category is because they were all treated the same. They were all treated as, like, feminine men or degenerate men or women. You know, like, it's all bigotry. They were all treated with the same brand of bigotry, and that's why it's a thing. So you can say it's political, and you might even have a good argument there, but not for the reasons you think. I think Shad is trying to say most gay people are on our side, and the other guy is like, what? Yeah, and he's trying to say that there are gay people on our side, like one of the good ones, you know? Plenty of straight people have been oppressed, but never because they were straight. Exactly, yes. Straight people are currently being oppressed by the same people who oppressed the gays for being gay. But it's not because they're straight. They're being oppressed for other reasons, like capitalism. Because they have to work a 9 to 5 in order to just survive and have their family survive. Because they have to drive 40 minutes to work every day and then also pay for the gas and also pay for the car that breaks down and also pay for the meals that they use to fuel themselves so they can work more and also pay for the, whatever, like, the point is, I tried to keep going with that. The point is, people are oppressed, but not because they're straight. You know? People are oppressed because they are gay. That is a thing that happens. Historically. And that's why we say that they can celebrate it. Like, it's fine for them to celebrate it. And if you want to celebrate being gay, go right ahead. Nobody's stopping you from having a fucking straight pride parade. Nobody's stopping you from that, okay? But usually, when you have a straight pride parade, it's anti-gay. Okay? That's usually what ends up happening. So go have your straight pride parade, man. Nobody's stopping you. But don't expect anybody to show up because nobody gives a shit. It's been fine to be straight since forever. That's been considered the default, unfortunately. You know? Nobody cares.
Thing for my personal identity, I consider myself an individual. But look, I will certainly admit, though,
You're literally the
that
one who
being
made this
straight
video.
has
Talk
enabled me
about
to
how
be married to a
straight
woman,
you are and how
and
much
together
gay
we
people
have been
suck.
able to create children, and that is one of the greatest, things in.
Okay, then you are also saying that people who are infertile are degenerate, right? Or whatever you would call gay people. I don't know if you'd call them degenerate, but whatever you would call gay people. You would lump them in the same category, yes? If you are infertile, you are in the same category, according to Shadiversity, as a gay person. Because you can't have kids. No matter who you're in a relationship with. Right? No, that's probably not right. I would venture a guess that that's not right. Because the bullshit they end up pulling is like, well, it's the idea. Like, you were built to have offspring with a man if you're a woman. And therefore, even if you're infertile as a woman, you should still be with... It's all bullshit. All of it's bullshit.
In my life.
Yeah.
That's why I want to celebrate. Well, that's why we should celebrate traditional relationships, traditional heterosexual
Go celebrate it
relationships,
then.
because there is something
Go do
truly
it.
special about that relationship.
The rest of us are over here having
People
fun and
that
enjoying
can,
our lives.
In that relationship, they can create life together. That's incredible.
Yeah. But there are actually examples.
The line wrapping around the Chick-fil-A during busy hours is a straight pride parade. That's pretty fucking good. Very nice.
I gotta give him one thing. There
That's
is
true.
actually a very common life bonding bird species in Australia that they're often gay. Just as often, like it's a bird bonding species forever. Do you know the species of bird? Cockatoo.
I see what you did there.
Good job, man. It's a great joke. Fantastic.
And on that note,
my chat has such better jokes.
Stay on watch.
Well, that sucked. It's exactly what I thought it would be. The entire time they're just like missing the point in straw manning. So I really don't have much more to add. One single clap, that's being too generous. I used to think I was straight until I was nearing 30, found out I'm not. Nice. Got a fun dice roll, pan and demi. Hey, nice. I think the older I get, the more demi I get. Like, I don't know. I still find women more attractive than men. I still have preferences. But like I've noticed that like even if I find a woman aesthetically attractive, if they're not a good person, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like it's an immediate turn off if they're like not a good person. Like you can be exactly my type. You can have like the short hair, the bob cut or whatever, or a pixie cut, even better. Katie usually has a pixie cut, but she's growing it out for the wedding. I want her pixie cut back, man. But I digress. You can have the pixie cut and like, you know, like I have several tastes, but I guess like you can look exactly like Katie does. Let's just say that you can look exactly like Katie. But if Katie turned around one day and she was like, "Hey, Alec, I decided I'm going to become a conservative Christian, and I'm not going to be gay or non-binary anymore, and I'm just going to live my life according to God, and you need to do the same or else," you know, like if she did that shit, I would say like, "Okay, I'm not attracted to you anymore. You are no longer attractive to me." It would probably take a minute to reach that point because I've obviously established a relationship with her, right? But like eventually I'd be like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Like you're not attractive to me. I don't care how hot I used to think that you were. You're not anymore. Like you are no longer attractive to me. Personality matters so much more than looks. I did learn that. My first relationship definitely established a lot of my my preferences. Another one that established it is Zelda Twilight Princess. Midna, baby. Midna. Woo, boy. Midna. They knew exactly what they were doing with Midna. Holy shit. Love that girl. I like her imp form better than I like her true form. And I know that's a person. I used to be very mad that they changed her back to like, her like her original form was what it was, because I loved Midna's imp form, and I still do. I stand by my statement that her imp form is like the superior form, but it's not how she wants to look. So I can't argue with that. She wants to look like her original form. So that's fine. And that's her right to do as Midna. You know, that's fine. I'm just saying it's not my preference. But it's not up to me. It's up to Midna. The fictional the fictional dark elf character. That kind of thing happened with my ex. He played with my feelings and trust, so I no longer find him attractive. Yeah, it took a really long time to no longer find my ex attractive. I don't even know when the last time I looked at a picture of her was. Maybe like a few months ago. Not even. It was probably like a year ago that I last looked her up just out of curiosity. And it's like, yeah, she's all right looking. I used to think she was the hottest thing on earth. Brain chemicals, man. I'm also neurodivergent and gender doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me on like a monkey level, like on an ape level, because like it's the first thing you see when a baby's born. That's like the distinguishing feature is one, there's two types of babies basically. One has Pinor, one has Vagoober, right? And so you're like, Pinor, he boy, and then you have Vagoober, it's like, Vagoober, she girl, right? Like it's ape brain. And you also associate that with like what they'll eventually become, you know? It's all based upon sex characteristics. That's why we have gender. Like, and it's very ape brain. And we don't need it. It's outlived its usefulness. Okay. I'm mostly attracted to my female friends if I'm ever attracted to women. That makes sense. That would make you like demi towards women in a sense. A Yoda voice would have made that funnier. It was kind of Yoda, but like deeper. Have Pinor he does. Boy, he is. Yoda. I used to do a better Yoda. Pre-T. I'm also a bearer of the autism. Gender is just forcing and coercing you into a very specific frame of mind for something that you'll never necessarily choose yourself. Yeah, there are a lot of trans autistic people because it turns out gender's kind of a fuck. You know, if I were, I mean, it's possible that if I were autistic and I like got into crocheting earlier in my life and then people were telling me, oh, crocheting's for girls. You shouldn't crochet. You should go play football, you know? That I might be I'm not saying that would make me a trans woman, but if I didn't give a shit about my gender, I might be like, well, people are giving me shit for crocheting as a boy. Why don't I just identify as a girl and then people won't give me shit anymore? You know? Like if you truly don't care about your gender, then you would default to the one that most conveniently aligns with your interests and lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's useless. It's a completely useless construct. It only serves to limit us. Because even my dad, who is a very artistic person and probably appreciates my craft, I'm not saying he doesn't, but even my dad, as artistic as he is like making fun of me sometimes for getting into crocheting because it's a girl's thing, right? And I haven't given him his gift yet. I will soon. I made him a little Darth Vader doll. Just to really shove it in his face that it's not just a girl's activity. But even he does that. You know? So it just sucks. And also I'm a nurse, and people say that like nursing is like a girl's job. You know, it's useless. It's so stupid. It's like, why is nursing just like a girl's job? It doesn't make any sense. Yarn Vader, yes. Darth Crocheter. I think it's because of autism that I might want to see myself as this unspeakable entity with it pronouns, though I feel that's more of my political persona thing. I mean, you can certainly use it pronouns. I've seen people do it. My mom was actually just complaining to me a little bit about somebody who wanted to go by it. Because she felt like it was like dehumanizing. And I can see it from that perspective, but like, it's just a pronoun, man. You gotta get over it. You certainly can. From my understanding, going by anything other than he or she is like difficult in current society, and it's not the person's fault. It's just like, you know, like if you're gonna pick one and you truly don't care, like going by it is probably gonna be a difficult one. Just in our current society. It's unfortunate. It's not your fault. It just is what it is. Every job was a girl's job during World War II. That's also true. Forcing certain jobs and roles to be to specific genders is just a pointless waste of opportunities. It sure is. She is what I'm used to. I really don't care that much about pronouns either. He is what I'm used to. And I think if somebody tried to refer to me as she, I wouldn't be offended. I would just be like, I mean, sure. Doesn't bother me. Like, it literally doesn't. And it's probably because I've never had to, like, contend with gender issues in my life. But, like, people wouldn't do that. Just because we're all gender cucked. So, I don't have to worry about it. Wait for people to find out I use X pronouns. Well, I mean, whatever pronouns you use is fine with me. It's just, you know, if you use neo pronouns or the its pronoun, it's just going to be more difficult in broader society. Like Queen Laura, one of our mods, is 1/ones. Still getting used to it. And I will get used to it. You know, I respect her, one's pronouns. You know, see, I almost just slipped up there. But that's me. Like, it's not going to be that easy in broader society, unfortunately. Yes, yeah, one's pronouns, yeah. They are cool. It does require thinking a little bit. That's only because we're gender cucked, though. We're all gender cucked. Everybody's gender cucked. I just have a reaction because I'm trans and hate being referred to as a guy for over 30 years. That's totally understandable. That's totally understandable. I wear a pin and it informs you or them. Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people wear pins if they're they, them. That makes sense. It usually doesn't even come up. You know what I mean? Like, if you're talking directly to somebody and then referring to them later on, if you're in a private conversation, like, it's not like that person is going to know. But if you're, you know, if you'd like to be respectful and get used to it, I would strongly encourage you to use their preferred pronouns. Okay. I'm going to go pee real quick and then, oh man. I'm in this video. We got a video to watch that I am in, and I am just praying that I don't look stupid. I don't know why it's so hard to watch myself sometimes. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. All right. Let's jump right into it. So, as many of you know, I went to Yonkers, New York for Progressive Victory to campaign for Jamal Bowman. Now, while we were in Yonkers, we did a couple of recording events. I got booted off of one of the panels, unfortunately. But I got booted off because I was part of this activity that we did. Do all progressives think the same? Spectrum. Now, if you don't know what Spectrum is, it's basically, it's a Jubilee game. So basically you just have like a bunch of lines, and they'll explain it in the video too, but I'll just give you a brief summary. There are a bunch of lines, and then depending on how much you agree or disagree with the statement, you would go to a certain line. We were told we have to agree or disagree with each statement that was read. So without further ado, here it is. Hopefully I don't look like an idiot. Let's get started.
We're forced to drink out of, paper straws while Taylor Swift is taking a private jet to get a cheeseburger or something.
Complete unambiguous win to the far right.
Anybody want to disagree with me? Fight.
Welcome to Progressive Victory's Spectrum, where we'll finally find out, do all progressives think the same? I will be reading a series of controversial statements designed to divide the
This, for those who don't know, this is James from Chill Goblin. And he was a great announcer.
left and cause it to eat itself. And the contestants here will move to the left if they agree.
That's Matt Bender.
And to the right if they disagree. Are you ready to play? Yeah.
Oh, it was very fun.
All right, let's do it. Number 1, police are working class.
Yeah, we split apart pretty good on this.
I mean, this is a technicality thing. This is an asterisk thing, right? Obviously, police work for their paychecks, and that is definitionally working class. It's more a matter of, to an extent,
Agreed.
I think that what class you're in is kind of defined by your interests. You look the world around, police are almost always on the other side of any working class movement because they have a different set of class interests. They're kind of a subcategory, really. So they work for...
Spoiler alert, there are very few things we actually... Oh, she looks like she's about to kill him. There are very few things we actually disagreed on. Is Zan here? No, Xander Hall's not in here, if you're asking. Vosh is here. Let's see, there's Vosh, Chill Goblin. We're in Hell didn't make it to the segment. Dreg did. Dreg, J-R-E-G. I can't remember her name, and I feel really bad about it, in the back. There's another girl that I can't remember her name. And then Matt Bender's here. And I think that's it.
For the paycheck.
Sure. Oh, and Nominal Naomi is there.
Sure, but historically, they tend to be motivated by a very different set of interests than, the union workers.
Ariana's a fan of the Deranged Tanky. Listen, I don't do guilt by association. Ariana was cool while I was there. It's fine.
They're sent to harass. So, not always the case, just it's a pattern.
Yeah, I think it's possible to be working class and also
Naomi!
perpetuate these oppressive systems. Like, that's one of the ways that the capitalist class keeps itself going, is by using workers to perpetuate their systems of power, their systems of control. And police are like the prime example of that. So, yeah, I think you can be both.
So I do agree with some of your sentiments. The reason why I land on disagree is because, for example, I'm from the Bay Area, and the Bay Area cops on overtime make hundreds and thousands of dollars. Like, I'm talking $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 just on working.
By the way, I didn't know that going into this. I thought cops made at most $100 grand. I didn't know there were actual high six-figure cops. That's insane.
Overtime. And for me, it's working class does include clocking into your job, doing a trade specialty, but at the same time, if you're getting paid $600,000, $700,000, in my opinion, you...
Oh, by the way, left is disagree, right is agree from over top. But if you're looking at it from the top, it's left is disagree, right is agree.
Still land on,
so I was on the agree
a much
side.
higher class of income as opposed to someone who's working in a grocery store, for example. So that's why I kind of disagree, because although I do agree to some extent that their jobs are working class, their income, especially in very metropolitan areas, when you include overtime, is much higher than the average working class person.
Number 2.
Oh man, they completely left out my statements. That's fine.
Competition breeds innovation.
Basically, I just said the same thing that everybody else did. I just said that you know, cops are inherently working class and therefore, like, they're class traders, basically, is what I said, like managers. Vosh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to start. Like, I think that it's precisely the problem that anti-competition is what breeds a lack of innovation. Like when we see these monopolies, these oligopolies that completely control markets, there's no desire to innovate.
Disagree.
And I mean, we can even think about this question on kind of like the abstract. Like when something gets competitive, like there's a lot more people that are trying to like play around with it, try new things. I mean, you can think about like competitive games as an example. Like
so personally, I think it depends on how you're approaching the question. I think that competition can breed innovation, but when you're speaking strictly from a monetary competition, I think that instead it breeds copycats.
People are going to try a lot of new strategies in those. Like competition itself is not the problem. What's the real problem going on is that there's anti-competition. There's no kind of like support mechanisms for people that are living under these kind of monopolies and oligopolies.
When you're talking about like fiscal competition, just in terms of money, really competition breeds copycats. You see that all the time in all kinds of markets, like the drug market. You got all these copycat drugs for no reason. You have like 50 different brands of Oreos that all taste exactly the same. And I just think that that's not innovation, that's copycat. And so that's kind of how I view it. Now, if you're talking about competition in terms of who can make the best Oreo, who can make the best game, I guess I can see it that way. But I just think in general, like when we say competition breeds innovation, we're talking more about the financial element of it, at least when we usually talk about it.
I mean, I think there's a reason why antitrust laws are good and monopolies
I thought that
are
was
bad.
pretty good.
It clearly helps companies and individuals create things that otherwise
And swole,
might
thank
not
you.
have been possible.
I'm glad that I still look swole because I tell you that like my workout game has not been on point lately. So I'm glad that it still comes across.
When the situation is quote unquote copycats, that's how you get like affordable generic drugs though. Companies are able to innovate price-wise by being able to create a drug that had been come up by someone else and create a cheaper version that more people could access. I mean, that's innovation, if you ask me, because they're creating a cheaper product. And I don't know if any of you are pro wrestling fans, but everybody knows the wrestling industry has not been the same since the WWE purchased their competition, WCW and ECW, in the early 2000s. That should tell you all you need to know.
I think most of the disagreement during this segment was like how we read the question. You know what I mean? Like how we each interpreted it. Because for the most part, I think we all agreed on mostly everything. There's probably like a couple of things we disagreed on, but not really. You know what I mean?
Like, I like competition. I think competition is good. I just don't think that the profit motive is always the best way of working out how that should, you know, how those chips should fall. Sometimes you get a better product that's not as like economically viable. Sometimes you have a product that could be better if it had like peripheral support, you know, like electric vehicle chargers, for example, is something that's incited a lot of hot debate for fans of that sort of thing, where you have like proprietary technology that kind of locks out a portion of the market, and that is
Vosh is very well spoken in this
sense,
environment.
in that it's good for the finances, but it doesn't allow for like innovation on a technological level. You know, we owe a lot to, I guess, humans' desire to one up one another, and I think that desire existed prior to the kind of like formalized market systems that we enjoy today. You know,
Better spoken than
like
I am,
people
for
have
sure.
always been trying to do that. You know, Grug was carving better rocks long before we had paper currency. So it's just the incentive structure underneath it and how we best channel it. I agree we probably don't need like 50 kinds of similar Oreos. Like maybe the effort put into producing those could go towards like building a hospital somewhere. I don't know, somehow reallocating that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, with antitrust laws being like one staple of that, I guess it's just kind of building a framework where competition can thrive in a way that doesn't waste our time, ideally.
Number 3, I am hopeful.
I just want to say real quick, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch all of this because I really don't have a whole lot to add. Like, I'm already watching it. No, I mean, I was already there, like, talking about it, you know, all my thoughts. So, like, I don't know. We'll see how we're doing, like, maybe 12 minutes in. I might just defer you guys to the original video if you want to see the rest of it. I think that would be a good idea because this is on Progressive Victory's channel, PV Spotlight, and I think it'd be a good idea to ship you guys over there. So if you want to see the rest of it, we'll watch like half of this, and then if you want to see the rest, you'll have to go over there and see it.
For America's future.
All right, so the question.
Number 3, I am hopeful for America's future.
Yeah,
Still
I'm
true.
hopeful for America's future. It's good to be hopeful, right? I also think that Democrats have moved more progressive than they ever.
Even with everything going on with Biden, I am still hopeful. I think that, you know, even if Trump wins, you know, I think it'll be very bad for a while. But I think that the younger generation coming up is very progressive. I think that the internet has really spurred on a wave of progressive young people, the likes of which the world has never seen. I think that it's going to end up bringing people together in a way that we've never seen before. And I think that the future of humanity, assuming we can survive climate change, is bright. And we should keep our heads up and try to, you know, just against all odds, keep trudging forward.
Ever have, and I think that Republicans are going to lose for the foreseeable future. And the reason I'm not more over there is because there's a chance I'm wrong.
Yeah, I try to maintain as much hope as possible. You know, it can be hard to be hopeful sometimes, and you don't always expect the best outcomes. But I think just you know, hoping for them, and to whatever extent you're religious, I guess, praying for it. You know, it's important, and I think that a lot of the younger generation is growing up to be a lot more progressive.
See, like I just said this.
Especially with the rise of internet culture, with all of its downfalls, I think that it's really brought people together. And yeah, like I said, I just try to keep my hopes as high as possible.
Yeah, don't want to hedge my bets too much because things have gone wrong before, but I think that in like a broad material sense, there are strong undercurrents to the way society is changing that are nearly irreversible and generally positive. Mostly with the young folks and the increasing visibility of the gay, queer people or whatever. It's just hard to hate people when you know them. You know, it's why, for all of its faults, like major American cities are basically global hubs of progressivism. You know, they're incredibly diverse. They have access to a wide range of cultural influences.
You're welcome,
you
Livy.
get to meet all sorts of people.
Yeah, I've been very doomer lately. Like I've been feeling internally doomer about the election. But it's true, you know, like everything that I just said is true. Even beyond the election, like we're moving in a good direction worldwide, I think.
We're in New York right now. I mean, I grew up in LA. There are some crazy experiences that you can
I mean,
have
look at
there
where
that would
we've
have
come
been
from.
literally
you know?
impossible anywhere in the
There
world.
will always be stumbling
50,
blocks.
60 years ago, maybe. And, you know, I think that like there are very few political happenstance, even stuff like climate change or like a massive political shift that can undo all
Is
the
that my
good
tit?
that adjacency is.
Dog, you put my tit in the shot? Look at this. Unbelievable. They got my titty right there, dude. That's crazy. How dare you? How dare you, Progressive Victory? Disgusting freaks.
Or like a massive political shift that can undo all the good that adjacency has done. You know, it's not always going to be straight up. I think it's a bumpy road, but you know, I don't really see how anything could undo
Calm
that
down.
progress.
So although
I got the spray bottle.
agree that the sentiment of the people is changing and the younger generation is becoming more and more progressive by the day, I think politically we still have a lot of issues. A lot of our politicians are, quite frankly, bought out. Like we're literally here because one of our favorite politicians is getting bought out by a lobbying group that has the interest of a foreign country. So
I think she meant one of our least favorite.
I think we still have long ways to go to actually
Unless she was being
enact federal
sarcastic.
policy that is going to bring about real change. But I do think socially we are moving towards a path of progression, if that makes sense, which is why I'm on the disagree line. I think that socially we're moving towards the right direction. When it comes to politicians and actually being able to elect people who are for our best interests, I think we have a long ways to go.
Number 4. It is good
All right, last
that
one.
America is the lone global superpower right now.
Last one, and then you guys can go watch the rest on their channel. After stream.
I'm over here because I remember World War I and World War II, and Europe sucks, and I'm glad that they're not like in charge of the world anymore. So that's good. But you know, I think that the best part of American history was whenever the USSR challenged the US in a lot of different ways. We went to the moon back then, and then the USSR fell apart, and now we don't want to do anything. So I don't think it's great that we're the only thing, but like, you know, it's better back than the World War I days.
I want to bounce off that and just say that I think militarily, multipolarity is actually quite ruinous. I mean, basically every conflict over the past century has derived in some form from like two powers duking it out by proxy. Like depending on how far back you stretch the definition of the word proxy, this is like the Middle East with Iran, right?
Did I miss something? What do you mean? She was talking. I mean, I wasn't completely on board with what she was saying, but I don't know. I don't have a lot to say here.
Vietnam, Korea, with us and China and the Soviet Union, like constantly, this is how it goes down. I think economically, multipolarity is amazing. Like the more economic investment you have between
True.
two cultures, societies, countries, empires, the less likely they are to invade. The fact that we are so
See, this guy has a sociology degree. I just have a stupid nursing license.
economically intertwined with China, for example, probably the reason why Taiwan hasn't gotten invaded yet, or why we haven't, you know, been more openly aggressive. We're just too interconnected. So more of that, you know. I want every part of the world to have such deep ties to each other that it would be ruinous for them to ever, you know, get
Useless nursing license.
a lot of what Russia's doing right now is a product of the fact that their economy, right? They're like a natural gas and oil heavy export like economy. It's resistant to that like interdependence. So yeah, I don't know. Trade, get
Gotcha,
along.
Plague Mercury.
Okay, I think
Lady Nova.
America's fucking the world up royally. I think when we look at, especially historically, like different continents like South America, Asia, the Middle East right now in particular, we are very selfish. We're basically the bullies. We bully anyone that doesn't listen to us. We sanction them. We kill them. We murder them. And no, I don't think us being a global superpower is responsible for the greater good of Earth in general. I mean, we're looking at what's happening in Palestine and Gaza right now. Like,
You guys want to know something really funny? In the middle of filming this, we took a break, and I went to the bathroom. I came back out of the bathroom, and I thought we were still on break, so I went and sat down and started crocheting my Snorlax, because that's what I was working on way back yonder. I was just like sitting in like a big room crocheting, and then I forget what his name is. The guy that's in charge, one of the guys that was in charge of wrangling us comes in. He's like, Alec, come on. Come on. I'm like, oh shit. And I like throw all my crocheting stuff to the side. I'm like, I didn't realize it. Like I knew so I knew that we were in a hurry, but I didn't realize that we weren't still on break. And so I was just like, oh, they'll come find me, I guess. Like I thought that I saw some other people, but no, they had to come. So I don't know. It was just embarrassing. Anyway.
Like when I would never in good faith be able to say that
Sitting
we
there doing
are
my little
a
crafts
global superpower
while they're trying
or
to
that
hurry the
we are
fuck up.
responsible with our power alone, not just domestically but globally. And domestically, I mean, we are sending billions of dollars to these countries. What are we doing for our own people? Our own veterans are in the street dying. So am I going to sit here and say we're really good at being the global superpower? Absolutely not. No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, Ariana covered it. I mean, you know, the U.S. has.
I don't know if we're gonna get any more of me.
Superpower has bullied its way to getting what it wants. It's practically, you know, any country that has something that it wants. You know, I'm not saying that the U.S. should fall, but it would be better.
Is that
if,
me
like,
again?
What Vosh said.
They really like standing behind me and filming.
More interconnectivity between all these countries to the point where they all viewed each other as, you know, equal partners in their relationships.
Yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing with what everybody over here is saying. I think that the one thing for me why I'm on kind of like the slight angle is that I think that the whole world situation could be a lot worse if there were other countries in power, particularly like, you know, these kind of like war-hungry dictatorships. Like, I mean, we've seen what Russia's been doing to Ukraine. It'd be a lot scarier if they had the power to invade a lot of other countries. Number 5.
Okay, we're gonna stop there. Yeah, that's close enough to halfway. We'll stop there. All right, that was pretty good. So you got to see a little bit of your boy Alec Gunter over there with Vosh and Dreg and all them and Matt Binder. Spitting, give my opinions, you know, what have you. And if you want to see the rest of it, you can go over to PV Spotlight, the YouTube channel, and view the rest of it on your own time. I'm sure they could use. I'm not even subscribed. Holy shit! I'm sure they could use the subscribers. I'm sure they could use the views. So yeah, get on over there, watch the rest, look at your boy Alec Gunter, and that's about it. Love Naomi's hair. It looks very nice and soft. It does look like cotton candy a little bit. I want to take a chomp. Yum. Yum. All right. I was a little bit bored by that. That's why I ended it early, honestly. I don't know. I just didn't have anything to add. It's not that the video itself bored me. It's that like I had nothing to add to it. You know what I mean? Like I already was there doing it. So I didn't have anything else to add. But I do have more to add to the stream.
I think that the women.
Who's up for a PragerU video? Bro got the extra treatment, indeed. The queen herself, indeed. I personally think it's good we are the superpower, but power needs to be used in better ways. I don't think that any one country or any one entity should have all of the power. I think what Vosh was saying, I agree with. I think economically it's very good to split it up. I gotta pee again. Why do I keep having to pee so much? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. We are indeed watching PragerU. Give me just a second. Yeah, that's fine. So, feminism. Pretty cringe, right? Pretty cringe. People think that feminism is really cringe and soy-pilled and whatever else. I don't know, whatever adjectives a conservative might use. I'm a feminist myself. I don't usually say that I'm a feminist just because optically it puts people off of, I feel like optically it's bad to call yourself a feminist for some reason. But PragerU decided to make a video called Who's Benefiting from feminism. Now, I would like to look at the definition of feminism here for just a second and just see, just to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Feminism is a range of socio-political movements and ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equality of the sexes. Feminism holds the position that modern societies are patriarchal, they prioritize the male point of view, and that women are treated unjustly in these societies. Efforts to change this include fighting against gender stereotypes and improving educational, professional, and interpersonal opportunities and outcomes for women. Now, all right, so that's a pretty good definition, I feel. I feel like often when we talk about feminism, we often forget the fact that feminism also helps men out because it breaks down gendered stereotypes, and men also suffer from these stereotypes. In fact, we suffer, frankly, from each other feeding into these stereotypes. So like, for instance, my dad saying that it's girly for me to crochet, or people calling me, saying that nursing is a women's job, right? Those both affect my life. You know, like these, or like the notion that men can't express their feelings. Like I still have issues crying in front of my own partner, you know, like that's fucked, man. That's really fucked. That's sadness or happiness or whatever. Crying is a human expression of emotion. It just is. But for some reason, men aren't really allowed to do it. And I feel like that's still, like it's starting to go away, but I feel like it's still kind of a thing. Like you cry as a man, you're considered soy or wussy or whatever. So yeah, I just think that feminism is cool for everybody. I think breaking down gender stereotypes is good. But let's see what PragerU has to say about feminism and who's benefiting from it.
I think that the women are suffering even more from this culture war.
Right off the bat, we're doing great.
And even more from this supposed feminist narrative. You know, who's benefiting from feminism?
Right.
Not the women.
Right.
Not the moms. Right? Because, I mean, think about it. I know in your book, you're right about this as well. The people are benefiting.
They're absolutely benefiting from feminism. Guess who gave them voting rights? Feminists. Way back in the day. I forget which year. But feminism is the reason that women currently have voting rights. So that's at least one that I can think of off the top of my head. You know? I feel like that one's pretty important. It's also the reason that women can own property without needing to be married. Have credit cards and credit scores, have jobs. You know, there's all kinds of things that women have benefited from with feminism.
Benefiting from
all kinds of things that women have benefited. You guys know what I meant.
Feminism are the big corporations who have basically women who are willing to work all day long and not take time off for kids and
Benefits
not have
women
kids
have
and not be
derived.
distracted by children. Right? It's like, just freeze your eggs.
Freeze your eggs. That's why all these companies
What?
pay for their employees to get abortions.
Hold on, I gotta go back. I think I missed something.
Feminism about it. I know in your book, you're right about this as well. The people who are benefiting from feminism are the big corporations who have basically women who are willing to work all day long and not take time off for kids and not have kids and not be distracted.
There's this idea that like feminism is only about women in the workforce. Nowhere in feminist ideology does it say women have to work a 9-to-5 job. That's very silly. Like the idea is that men get to work jobs and be independent as a result. So women should also get to work jobs and be independent as a result. The whole point is that women should have a means of being independent. And with feminism, that is possible. Without feminism, we've seen that's not possible because men dominate, okay? Historically. That's just how it's been. And I don't like that. So I think feminism is actually the preferable option here.
By children, right? It's like, just freeze your eggs.
Freeze your eggs. That's why all these companies pay for their employees to get abortions. Because then, you know, they don't...
good. We're getting into abortion here. That's another tenet of feminism, is that you're allowed to have control over your own body, by the way. Something that people like Dennis Prager don't want you to have.
have to give maternity leave. They're not losing their employees.
Yeah. And
it doesn't help the woman.
And then male...
You don't even believe in maternity leave. Shut the fuck up. These people are so disingenuous.
Predators who never want to settle down, right? I'd imagine maybe they win from this feminism, but
What?
certainly not the women.
Oh, I mean, every woman...
How the fuck do predators benefit from feminism? Do you know what predators did before women were allowed to have their own, like, bodily autonomy? They would rape women, sometimes marry them and then rape them because they were unconsensual marriages. Sometimes underage, by the way. And that was how they did their predatory stuff. Like, it was all by the books. It was all legal. It was all fine back then because it was allowed. Because feminism wasn't a thing. So, no, predators have actually not benefited from feminism at all. It's the exact opposite.
On Tinder, on the dating apps, is on birth control, and everything is being underwritten by abortion,
Okay.
just in case. So a man has no incentive anymore. Unless he's like a literal.
A man has no incentive to date you if you're on birth control and you're okay with getting an abortion if you get pregnant. Is the incentive not worry-free sex? Right? Like even if you fuck without a condom and get her pregnant by accident, like she's willing to get an abortion. And therefore you don't have to be forced into into a familial situation that you did not consent to and don't want. That's a plus to me.
Literally raised like a fundamentalist religious household. A regular guy off the street has no incentive to marry a woman, to take precautions, to not just be this like very promiscuous person. And then women don't have any, there's no guidelines there either. We've removed all the guide rails. And so you see women, I think you've posted some of these videos of women.
Yeah, good point. Men should also be allowed to be stay-at-home dads. That's another thing that feminism allows for, is, again, the breaking down of gendered stereotypes. So men can be stay-at-home dads without feeling like they're being, feminized or whatever, what have you.
Young women bragging about their, body counts, of how many
Explain
men
what body count
If men can brag about their body count, so can women. That's equality.
is, because it
so gruesome.
actually, I'm not online enough to know what that means.
I'm so jealous of you.
It sounds
Right?
like a horrific.
Yeah, it's this.
How dry are these women's pussies? How dry do you think? On like a scale of like the Sahara Desert to like the surface of Mars? Because I think it's somewhere between there.
Gruesome, serial killer phrase for how many sexual partners you've had. So you have young
women are collecting
their
ledgers.
Dusty
of
pussies,
they
dude,
slept
have
with.
not been
I've seen
laid
women
in
over
forever.
100. Like numbers are.
I've seen like
ugly.
close to 300 in a year.
Wow.
I'm like, you got to
We
be
have two
busy every
Ben's
single
wife
day.
jokes.
Like,
They post
what kind
this
of
on
life is
social?
that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a virtue. It's a kind of virtue signal. It's like this very kind of dark feminism.
And then they're praised.
Wait, what
Everyone
Is that Chaya Raichik? Oh, that might be Chaya Raichik. I couldn't tell from the layers upon layers of makeup.
happened to the
Praises
slut
them
shaming?
and-
Oh, that's
Which is
gone.
her right,
That's gone.
because I'm a
Slut pride.
feminist. She's allowed to do
Slut
that.
It's
pride.
like pride parade for sluts these
They're
days.
going to add like another S
Cool, who
to
cares?
the LGBT, whatever.
S, add an S in there.
There's the
Double
joke.
S.
Yeah,
We
they'll-
got it,
they'll-
boys.
they'll
Good
need a
job.
flag.
Because they're going to say that they're now like a, minority.
Persecuted, yeah.
Persecuted.
That's
Well,
so
as long
funny.
as
You literally are persecuted as a result of having as much sex as you want. That is a thing that happens. So yes, if you want to call it sluts, whatever, I don't care. Slut shaming is a thing. You are persecuted as a result of having sex with whoever you want, whenever you want to. And that's bad. And men are not persecuted for that. We're praised. We're worshipped for that. People think we're Giga Chad. But suddenly you're a woman and you do that. And you're, it's the whole master lock shitty door analogy. Like, people literally believe that, which is so fucking stupid. And it doesn't make any sense at all. It does not make sense.
because they remain a minority, I hope
Which
it
is
doesn't
shit we
become a
made up.
majority. It's just awful.
Yeah, and then they end up
marginalized.
Yeah, then they end up child free, and that is sold
Great.
like as this liberation. You don't need to waste your money.
Dude, not having a child, especially if you don't want one, is liberating as shit, okay? Take it from somebody who does want children and does not currently have them yet. I feel liberated by the fact that I was not railroaded into having a child back when I was with my ex and we accidentally got pregnant, okay? Like, I feel liberated by that fact, all right? She got an abortion, and we're better off because of it. That was liberating for me. Yes, that is liberating. Do you know how burdened I would be if I had a kid to take care of? Like, that's crazy.
But what they also are not telling these women is that, anti-depression rates for women, especially unmarried, childless women in their 50s and 60s, has never been higher. It's literally like the highest rate ever of older women resorting to antidepressants and other drugs that aren't good for you.
Let's talk about why that is. Is that because of feminism or is that because of capitalism? You say that like it's, women have to work 9 to 5 jobs, whatever. Like, that's a result of capitalism, not feminism. Like, if you really want women to be stay-at-home mothers, make environments that actually facilitate that. Because I would love that for women who want it, you know? I would love that for women and men who want it. That'd be great. But we can't do that because you literally need a double income household in order to just make ends meet, especially if you have kids, you know? It's shitty. So I'm glad that we've once again reached the conclusion that you're mad at capitalism.
To kind of
Not
mask
feminism.
whatever has, they lost out on or missed out on.
That's how Lives of TikTok was born.
I'm not
They
watching
were
another one. I can't do it. Certainly not a fucking hour of this. No. Yeah, that was really stupid. Feminism is based. If you're not feminism pilled, you're big doo doo head. You're big stinky poo poo head, like these girls. All right, that was a short one. Why do these people want people who don't want kids to have them? Because they're breeders and they exert their fetishes onto everybody else around them. It's really gross and perverted. Hey, let's go.
Power. I just wanted a new color because I think I'm special.
Let's go. Thank you very much, Hot Tech Andy, for the tier 2 sub. Appreciate you very, very much. Enjoy. You also have access now to uncensored videos on the Discord. Go check your Discord color. I think you're my first turquoise. That's all I had, guys. That's all I had. I don't got nothing else. I'm gonna have to figure something out. I wanted rainbow, but I'm poor at the moment. Isn't it like $40? Don't worry about it. Ask Sake Tanuki. Maybe he'll give you a tier 4 sub. What are tankies? Tankies are, I don't know why we keep bringing them up, but tankies are, basically people, they're like red fascists. They're people who identify as lefty, but they're not really. Like, all of their rhetoric is fascist, except they just call themselves communist. They're communist in name only. Excuse me. Tanky sounds like a funny name for fans of tanks. Yeah, that'd be a lot nicer. But alas, we live in hell world. Let me see. Okay, so I'll delete the... I gotta go through real quick. I'm just deleting the ones that we've gone over. I'm probably never gonna go over this. Actually, maybe that would be a fun one to go over now. Let me check.
It's political. It's probably a...
Ooh, maybe I should go over this. I've been sitting on this one for a long time. I don't really want to go over this one. What is this one? Oh, hell no. This is like a fucking parody song. No, no thanks. Ooh, should we do another Brian Holdsworth? This guy was funny. I'm actually going to be reacting to Brian Holdsworth with Neko Suris, if you guys know who that is, on Tuesday next week. We're going to be going over the Why Are Atheists Angry at God video. I sent you one forever ago. Same time as the self-hating trans dude. Oh man, that's probably way back. I mean, I look at all of these. Sometimes I just don't feel like going over a lot of them. What's this one? Oh, this one's too long.
There's absolute.
That one's too long. I might go over it one day, Hot Take Andy, but not right now. I kind of want to go over one of this guy's again. Why doesn't God make it obvious? Can I stay Catholic after this? Here, we'll go over how gender theory self-destructs. This is, okay, so when I was going over, like I told Necosaurus about this channel, and I was like, okay, I'm between this video, how gender theory self-destructs, and the atheist video, why atheists are mad at God. Hello, transpositions, welcome. And I decided to go over why atheists are mad at God with Necosaurus. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll go over gender theory self-destructs for this one. And before we do that, I will be right back. Okay, sorry. I had to switch my laundry. All right. So we found this guy, Brian Holdsworth, last week. A struggling Catholic thinker, apologist, writer, speaker, communication professional. He's very professional at communicating. So professional, in fact, that he managed to successfully convince me that priests shouldn't be gay. And I forget which other video we watched. We watched another video. But yeah. So today, we're going to watch his video called How Gender Theory Self-Destructs. Now, I'm very interested in this because I'm not a big gender theory guy, quote unquote. I just think that gender should be abolished. I think it's a useless social construct. I don't think that we have much, use for it anymore. It's just outlived its usefulness, basically. Sorry, that's 3 different ways of saying the same thing. But basically, I don't think about it a lot, but I'm interested in hearing what this guy has to say about it because he's kind of become one of my favorite lolcows lately. So let's take a look at what Brian Holdsworth has to say about how gender theory self-destructs.
If you want to identify the core principles of any belief, theory, or ideology, you'd be on the right track if you sourced your information from its leading thinkers, obviously. So, for example, if you want to discuss the theory of evolution by natural selection, well, Charles Darwin would be your guy. If you want to describe Newtonian physics, well, Isaac Newton. And if you want to describe modern gender theory, or even just the popular notions about gender that we hear enshrined in media.
You can discuss evolution and you can discuss any idea without bringing up anybody that it's associated with, by the way. Just because Isaac Newton came up with, what did he say it was? I forget. Just because Charles Darwin came up with evolution does not mean that you have to invoke Charles. The number of times that I've thought about or brought up Charles Darwin when talking about evolution compared to the number of times that I've talked about evolution is a very, very low ratio. It just does not come up that often.
Narratives, then you should cite people like John Money, who argued that...
Oh boy, John Money. Okay, I should have known that's where we're going. So for those who don't know, basically John Money, I don't know everything about him, but basically this guy is some kind of psycho researcher who did this experiment on kids whereby he took two twins that were... they were born male, I believe, and then he switched their sex to female or something, or raised them female, and they didn't jive with that because he literally tried to trans them, and so he's going to, this whole video basically, let me predict it for you. It's just going to be John Money was a freak and he was bad and he did a bad thing. Therefore, everything that he said, even though he also breathed air, which I also am breathing currently, everything that he said was objectively wrong and bad. This is another one of those Hitler breathed air, therefore and you also breathe air, therefore you're Hitler. Just because John Money was right on a couple of things does not mean John Money was a good person, and it doesn't mean that just because he was let me back up. Just because John Money was a freak who did terrible things doesn't mean that he, everything that he said was incorrect.
Gender is a social construct, or Judith Butler, who said masculine and feminine roles are not biologically fixed but socially constructed. Or maybe Dr. Az Hakim, who said
I don't know the rest
gender
of
is a psychosocial virtual entity without location in a person's body. It solely exists and is perpetuated by the society in which the person lives. So to summarize, they're all arguing that gender is a social convention or a social construct.
It literally is.
Rather than something grounded in objective or observable reality. And if it doesn't exist outside of our own conventions, then that must mean that we get to define what it is and how it gets applied and how we use it. In the same...
He's got a pretty good grasp of this. I'm surprised. He studied this quite a bit. Interesting. Let's see how he dismantles it.
Same way that popular Christmas traditions are social conventions. Not to say that the reasons for celebrating Christmas are merely invented, but that the specific characteristics of the festivities, like cards and lights and food, those are all conventions that exist for our own purposes and can just as easily be adapted to different conventions if need be. And because they are conventions, that means that they must be voluntarily participated in. No one should be forced to...
Gotta say, his drip's not great this time, but it does look better. I do like the very simple sweater. It looks much better on him.
adopt or participate in any kind of social convention. To impose social conventions on anyone involuntarily would be tyrannical and certainly contrary to the ideals of.
So you're not imposing social conventions on people by insisting that you're a woman. They can't know whether or not you're a woman unless you tell them. Like, that's the only way anybody can know whether or not you're actually a woman or not, you know? Like, regardless of what genitalia you have or anything. Like, women who identify as women and were born cis, you know, if they're cis, there are cis women with, like, facial hair and deep voices, you know, just, like, look at butch lesbians, for instance. You know, like, a lot of them have, you know, deeper voices or... you know, they dress very masculine or have facial hair or maybe even be on T. You know, like there's all kinds of wibbly wacky stuff that can happen with gender and sex. So you literally, and again, I bring this example up all the time. I've mistaken old people for the opposite sex that they actually are. It's happened, okay? And not even just old people. It's been young people too. I've mistaken people for the opposite gender or sex. And then they correct me. And then I say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My bad. And that's it. We move on. I don't sit there and be like, well, actually, I clocked you. You know, like we've been through this before.
Of liberal democracy, which I think is something most of us have bought into. Like, imagine if the government told you that when you gather as a family on Christmas, you have to sing these particular songs together, that you have to eat these particular dishes.
They literally tell you, like Christians literally tell you that you have to do certain things, like go to church on Sunday. Like that is a thing that they will literally enforce upon you at the risk of like maybe not excommunication, but definitely social ostracization.
Is prepared the way that we tell you, and that you have to marathon
where the Christian
Hallmark
theory
Christmas
falls apart
all night on Christmas Eve.
Checkmate,
You'd be right in
Christians.
thinking, that's a violation of our rights. And it's on this basis that gender theorists can argue that traditional notions of gender based on traditional beliefs about the nuclear family, that those are mere social conventions that should not be imposed on people who do not conform to them. This is how we dismantle the Christian paradigm of traditional values in order to instantiate something new and innovative or progressive. Now,
It's not new or innovative or progressive. Gender fuckery has existed as long as gender's existed. For as long as the construct itself has existed, there are people who have been trying to get like escape or venture outside of the construct. I do that. I literally do that, okay? And my T is as high as anybody's. My testosterone levels. Like, I have a beard, I have a deep voice, I'm fucking bald. Like, I am a dude through and through, and I identify as one, and yet I'm a nurse, which is traditionally a women's position. I crochet, which is traditionally a woman's thing to do. You know, and I have earrings too, which is also considered traditionally feminine to do. You know, so like my point is, as long as there have been gender constructs, there have been people venturing outside of it, always and forever. Hey there, Alex and company. So sorry I missed the beginning. No worries, no worries. Welcome, Lefty Jenna.
I don't agree with that claim, but if that's actually the argument that they're going to rest on, and at least from the sources I've cited above, that seems to be how they're advancing their cause, then they've already shot themselves in the foot. They've already pulled the rug out from under them. They've already sawn off the branch that they were sitting on. I don't know any more ways to say that they've refuted themselves right out of the gate. Because if that's true, if gender is a social convention that is determined by our social preferences, in other words, we invent it and it conforms to whatever vision we impose on the world, and if it's tyrannical to impose a traditional convention on anyone in a liberal democracy, then it's just as tyrannical to impose a progressive notion of gender and sexuality.
How would that happen? Like, who is imposing their view of gender upon you, sir? Like, I assume, sir, right? Like, you know, like, it doesn't, like, that's not happening to you. Nobody's imposing their view upon you, okay? You're imposing your view upon other people by telling trans people that they're not women or men or non-binary or whatever. Okay, that's you doing that. So stop projecting.
Conventions and practices inspired by gender theory are, on their own view, social conventions, which is why they have no more grounds to force people to participate in those social conventions by adhering to policies and expectations like reciting gender pronouns. If when
I just can't understand why they want to control someone's ability to present how they please, even if you think gender is rigid. Who gives a shit if someone wants to pretend they're a woman? They're a woman. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's just control that they try to exert over people. And also, usually it's just rooted in misogyny and homophobia.
When I apply for a job or a school, or maybe when I register for an app and it forces me to list my gender pronouns, it's forcing me to participate in.
Dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. Come on. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, woe's you. You have to list your gender pronouns. Oh, no. Oh, the baby. Oh, no. Oh, no. I have to list my gender pronouns. Oh, it's tyrannical. Oh, no. Shut the fuck up. Go away. Nobody likes you.
What has already been admitted to be a social convention,
What's
according
next?
to the
I
very
have to tell my
same
name?
leading thinkers who introduced us to this whole theory about gender, and therefore...
Wait till he learns that children learn about pronouns when they're in, like, 2nd grade.
Imposing it on society is as equally tyrannical
Usually
as imposing
earlier,
the
actually.
traditional conventions. Again, if you use this claim that
okay.
gender norms are
Oh,
mere conventions in order to dismantle conservative or traditional
love this
notions
guy.
of gender, then you've also a priori dismantled progressive notions of gender as
priori.
conventions that cannot be imposed on anyone else.
It's not
And yet,
imposing anything on you.
somehow
Guess what? You can identify as he, him. Okay? Nobody's saying you can't do that. They're just asking you, how do you identify? That's not imposing anything on you. You're imposing something on us by forcing us to assume that you're a man. That's you forcing it on us. You're projecting, sir. I assume, sir.
Oh, that's what's happening. We're expected to
trying to
recognize
respect his
as
gender
objective
preferences.
fact, and not just convention, the preferred pronouns and gender identity of others at work or at school, and there have
Hold on, I missed that.
recognized
What?
as objective fact, and not just convention, the preferred pronouns and gender identity of others at work or at school, and there have already...
So you're saying that it's forceful, that you can't, people are forcing their worldview on you because you can't enforce your worldview on others. That's all you're saying. That's really fucking stupid, man. That's like brain dead.
Even cases in which people have
That's like saying I'm being, you're restricting my freedom by not allowing me to take away other people's freedom. That's all you're saying, is that you want to be able to take away other people's freedom to present and be identified as the way they want to, and they're taking away your freedom to not allow them that freedom. That's really fucking stupid, dude.
Faced severe consequences for refusing to participate in these new conventions. In the case
because it's
ENV
disrespectful.
Gallagher's Bar and Lounge, the
Guess what? If you have a boss who's trans, right? If you have a slay queen trans woman boss, and then you go and use he, him for your boss's pronouns, they're probably going to fire your ass because that's disrespectful as shit. Okay? I don't care if they're a class trader manager or a CEO or whatever. She's a trans woman. All right? It's a matter of basic fucking human respect to identify them the way that they would like to be identified. You do that for every fucking cis person, and yet you won't do it for a trans person. Fuck you.
The Ontario Human Rights Tribunal ruled that the owner of the bar had to pay significant damages to 3 different employees for not using their they/them pronouns.
Good.
Which,
They should
based
have
on what
paid
we've
more.
already discussed,
Whatever they paid,
that's
they should
like
have paid
saying
more.
my employer has to throw a Kwanzaa party for me, or I'm going to sue them for not adhering to my preferred social conventions.
Okay, if your employer throws specifically a Christmas party and says that if you celebrate Kwanzaa, you're not allowed here, yes, you can sue for that. Okay? This is a false equivalency that you're creating here. If you want to be equivalent about it, yes, if your employers throw a Christmas party and some people aren't invited on account of not celebrating Christmas or not being Christian, that is something that you can absolutely sue for. And I think you should be allowed to. That's a good thing.
In Nelson v. Goodberry Restaurant, the BC, that is British Columbia Human Rights Tribunal, rendered a similar decision against a restaurant for not using the pronouns of a former employee. So when they dismantled our traditional recognition of sex as the means by which we identify others by reducing it all to mere conventions, At best, they came up
As
with
opposed to reducing it to what genitalia you have or what chromosomes you fucking have, which you don't even know your chromosomes, dude. I guarantee you, you do not know what your fucking chromosomes are. You've never done a chromosomal test. You've never done a DNA swab. Shut the fuck up.
means of being able to say that people should be allowed to live according to whatever social conventions that they want. And since gender is a social convention, then individuals can choose their own theories about it and live according to those theories. But if that's your argument, what you absolutely cannot do is tell the rest of society.
You can identify yourself the way that you want to identify yourself. You can't go around and dictate how others are identified. That's stupid.
They have.
Also, I just realized the bottom button is not buttoned, man. Really? Really, dude? You're really going to be that unprofessional? Your bottom button is not buttoned. What's up with that?
To participate in these individualistic notions of gender by affirming those preferences verbally through compelled speech and institutional recognition. We should be able to look at that and say,
everybody has pronouns,
okay, fine,
dipshit.
gender is a social construct, but biological sex is not. Sex is a verifiable fact based on empirical information that anyone can observe. If you dig up a
and you can change it. Pretty cool.
Grave in which all the soft tissue has long since disappeared, you can still tell the sex of a person.
That's not even true.
Without asking them.
Here, let's debunk that right now. Can you tell the sex of a person who's been dead? Can it determine the sex of the remains using teeth and skull traits? How accurate is it? Out of the whole skeleton, the pelvis was shown to be the most accurate region in determining sex. However, full skeletal remains are a luxury very rarely enjoyed by anthropologists, and the pelvis may be fragmented or entirely missing in a forensic contest. And it's not even like error rate. Here we go. Error rates in sex determination of human skeletal remains. Let's see. Abstract. The possible fallibility of forensic methods has been under scrutiny for over a decade. Left out of the initial reviews were methods within forensic anthropology. Observer-based methods had a lower rate of error. Skull was shown to be the least accurate. Results showed no significant correlation between the number of traits being considered and the subsequent error rate in determining sex. Well, where's the error rate? Post-transition, you're closer to the sex than you transition to. That's true. Even if, okay, let's say that this is true, by the way. Let's say that you can determine the sex of somebody based on their skeletal remains. That you're biologically closer to the sex that you transition to after a certain period of time than you were beforehand. Like, that's why people get, like, that's how facial feminization surgeries work. That's how, like, puberty blockers work. You know, like, you become, results are page 5 probably. Yeah. I actually went discussion. Quality, not the quantity, when making the distinction between biologically male and female skeletons. Though it is beyond the scope of this paper, ideally this work can contribute to the examination of of which skeletal traits are most accurate when making sex determination. The skull is shown to be the least reliable. By examining the skull as a whole, the average error rate was greatly reduced. Long bones were also examined for their efficacy in determining biological sex. Long bones had an intermediate average error rate. Okay, so there is some ability to determine the sex, but it's not the be-all end-all. The gathered data put their average error rate above 10%, which can be problematic from an investigative standpoint for the scapula and clavicle. Pelvis was shown to be the most accurate region in determining sex. All portions of the skeleton besides the pelvis had an average error rate greater than 10%, which is usually considered unreliable in a forensic setting. It goes on to say that this is most likely due to the limited sample size. But according to this, unless you're looking at the pelvis, which is a rare find in skeletal remains, a rare undamaged pelvis, right? Like, it's above a 10% error rate. And your pelvis can vary as well. It's not a 100% thing. They cannot 100% determine your sex. That's the point. It's never an exact science. And HRT changes the body a lot. Yeah, exactly.
For their pronouns. Gender is not a necessary fact. It's, as we've all admitted, a social construct. Something we invent for our own purposes as a society. It's something we assemble for our...
Yeah, so let's talk about the use of it, you know? Like, what good does it do us to identify people who are born with vaginas as women? You know, like, and then categorize them based upon that. It doesn't do us any good. Okay, it's a useless construct.
Purposes, and therefore it's also something we can disassemble
a lot of
for
overlap,
our own purposes. So if you're going to assemble some theory about gender for your own purposes, I have just as much right to disassemble it for my own purposes and say,
but you're no. But your disassembly, quote unquote, is literally saying I can call you whatever I want to call you. You know, which I guess you can. I'm not saying like at threat of gunpoint that you can't do that, but people are going to think you're a piece of shit. You know, these people all whining and whinging about, oh my God, I'm going to get canceled for this and that. Getting canceled is not getting killed, dude. You'll be fine. You'll live.
I'm not participating in your own peculiar social conventions. But what neither of us can do is say that biological sex isn't a fact.
They don't want freedom of speech. They want freedom from consequence. Freedom from consequence is what they want. This is indisputable now. Okay, because the consequence of you misgendering a trans person is that you're going to get people saying, hey, fuck you, man. Fuck you, man. Hey, I have the right to say that. Freedom of speech, right? That's my social construct is I identify you as an asshole. Okay? And you can't deconstruct that because if you want to deconstruct other people's social constructs, then I'll deconstruct yours. You're not a man, you're an asshole.
And that the physical reality of sex ought to be conditioned by our social conventions, as if such a thing were even possible. What is this
reality? Why are we looking at a fucking baby foot? What? Why? This is such weird footage. I don't like this.
Conditioned by our social conventions, as if such a thing were even possible. Reality isn't contingent upon us. We are contingent upon reality. And if you don't think so, if you think the laws of gravity are just a convention that we arbitrarily invented and can just as easily recalibrate to suit some other preference, then give it a try. Change the laws.
Gender is not a scientific theory. It's a social construct. Okay? And sex can be changed. And gravity changes when you leave the Earth. Okay, the gravity constant on Earth is not the same as the gravity constant on Mars, or on the Moon, or in the vacuum of space. All right? It changes based upon where you are in the universe. So gravity is not a constant in the universe. All right?
Laws of gravity in our textbooks and our engineering manuals and see if we can still fly airplanes. Social conventions are relative to us. But physical reality is not. The laws of physics and biology don't change.
The physical reality is that you're missing the bottom button on your sweater, and it's really starting to bother me. You should really get that fixed.
Because of our wishful thinking or our emotional longing. So if someone tells you that you have to have pronouns on your resume or your student application or your email signature, or that your children have to participate in exercises at their publicly funded schools designed to determine what their gender pronouns are, you and I should have every right to say, well...
Everybody has fucking gender pronouns, dude. Everybody. You have them, and you're he, him. I have them, I'm he, him. Katie has them, she's she, they. Okay? Everybody has gender pronouns. You just haven't sat down to really think about yours. I have. And in my worldview, that makes me more of a man than you. I'm just saying.
Well, isn't that just a social convention? And if it is,
I'm sure of my masculinity.
Well, it isn't one that I adhere to. So I'm not going to participate in that. And in the same way that you don't have to participate in like my daily rosary. And if they say you have to, well, then you can accuse them of imposing a social convention on you, which is...
What are you going to do? Pull down their fucking pants and look at their genitals? You don't know what they're packing. You have no clue. Okay, you assume it based off what they look like. Everybody does that. I'm doing it now to you. You could have a big soaking vagina for all I know. I don't know. All I have to go off of is your word that you do not have a big soaking wet vagina. Okay? I have to assume, or a micro penis. I have to assume that you have like a regular normal size, probably a little bit below average penis. based off of what you look like, okay? Gravitational acceleration changes, but the gravitational constant isn't G, and G isn't G, it's capital G, and that does not okay, yes, that's what I meant. The gravitational constant from Earth over to other planets does change. There is a gravitational constant based upon the mass of an object, which does not change. Sorry if that was confusing. My point is, gravity has the potential to change in some aspects, okay? That was my point. But the broader point is that gravitational theory is a scientific theory. Gender is a social construct, okay? So there's no comparison there. They're completely different ideas.
As they've already admitted, tyrannical. If conservatives can't do it, then neither can progressives. But they are doing it. They're getting people fired, or they're suing them, or worse, for not adhering to their conventions about gender. It's almost as if they believe their whole theory about gender is a fact of reality.
That's capitalism, baby. I'm sorry. Oh, you don't like getting fired? Wow, that sounds like a problem with capitalism. You know what I want? I want a system where bigots like you can live fucking free. Okay? For free. Regardless of your ideology. You can live for free. No job required. You don't have to go on YouTube and pull this stupid bullshit and get all your subscriber bucks from these religious zealots who watch you. You don't have to do any of that in my worldview. You can just sit back, let some cash roll in. Not even cash. You just get handed the shit that you need. Wouldn't that be great? That'd be fucking fantastic, all right? That's all I'm saying. I want that for you and me. Where was I going with this? I don't even remember. Fuck you.
Rather than a mere convention. And if that's what they want to claim, then we have to return back to the condition of treating gender not as a social construct, but something.
Getting fired from your job. I don't even think the job should be a thing, so you won't get fired for believing the stupid shit that you do under my worldview.
Thing that is factually
that's a capitalism
based
thing.
In objective reality, and therefore has to meet certain standards of evidence and proof if you want others to recognize it as such. And at that point, the debate is no longer about the imposition of social conventions or making people feel included, but rather which beliefs about sex and gender hold up to rational scrutiny, which one makes more sense and is more grounded in scientific observation and logical reasoning.
So what you're saying is, based upon somebody being born with a vagina, you think that they should have a specific role in society that you dictate. That's fucked up, man. Nobody likes that except for you and your posse of freaks. Most people want freedom from their sexual chains, okay? From the chains of the biology which they've been prescribed by the randomosity of the universe, all right? Most people also want you to fix your fucking button on your sweater, man. It's really starting to bug me. Like, really? It's not that hard, man. It's really not that hard.
Because all of those claims about gender being a spectrum and people being born in the wrong body and the need for gender-affirming care and medical intervention, none of these things are observable outside of the feeling scientific observation and logical reasoning. Because all of those claims about gender being a spectrum and people being born in the wrong body and the need for gender-affirming care and medical intervention, none of these things are observable outside.
Gender-affirming surgery has been performed since 1931 and is shown to increase the quality of life in transgender patients, with 91% of transgender female patients reporting improved quality of life after vaginoplasty. Seems pretty observable to me, man.
Outside of the feelings or thoughts of those who experience such feelings about themselves. But feelings aren't proof of anything. I have a very strong feeling that I should get 1 million views on my YouTube channel every month. But reality doesn't bend to our feelings no matter how strong they are. And just as I have to accept...
How many views does he get? 98K? Too many. You don't
the fact that I don't get 1 million views on my channel every month, just because one...
By the way, this is a common misconception, is that trans people think that things are there that aren't, or that things aren't there that are, and that's not true. That's called delusion. Okay? Trans people are not under any delusions as to what's there, yeah, delusion, right? Like, anorexia is a delusional mindset, because you literally think that you are fat when you're not. You see fat that is not there. Trans people do not see body parts that are not there. They see the lack thereof or the presence of a body part which they either do or do not want to be there respectively. Okay? Like that's what gender dysphoria is, I should say. Not necessarily being trans, but that's what gender dysphoria is. Since we always conflate those two. And wanting to rectify that is not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you see something wrong with that because you want people to be upset and miserable. That's it. You just want people to be miserable. You want people to submit to your worldview, which you claim we're doing. It's all projection. It's always just projection. Like, he just wants us to submit to his worldview. Again, fuck you, man. Fix your button.
Person has certain feelings doesn't mean the rest of society has to affirm those feelings.
Fix your
that
button,
gets us
nerd.
back into certain tyrannical impositions, which no liberal democracy should be willing to entertain. But biological sex
listen to people who
is
don't have
observable and
fixed
empirical.
buttons on their shirts.
Understanding ourselves according to observable sexuality is a paradigm that has worked for human civilization for as long as there has been human civilization. In fact, we built the most advanced civilization on such tradition.
Despite efforts from people like you, we built the most advanced civilization, and it was not on tradition. It was always it was always people going outside of the bubble. Always people going outside of that bubble that people like you constructed in order to build civilization. Do not take credit for that, you goddamn degenerate.
So,
disgusting.
If it ain't broke,
You
I
don't take
say
credit
we
for
don't
that.
fix.
What the fuck have you built? A disgusting YouTube channel. That's what you built. A YouTube channel with a little bit over 100,000 subscribers that you suck some money into from ad revenue, right? You contribute nothing to society. Nothing. Zilch, nada, not a thing. You take from society. You just take. You just take. You sit here and you pull from it. All right? So don't sit here and fucking pretend for 2 seconds that you gave a modicum of effort or time or resources to any of us. Any of us. You are a useless parasite. That's what you are.
And our attempts to fix it so far seem to have broken a lot of things. So
no, please
I
finish.
think we should go back to that tradition that we originally dismantled. Can I ask you to stick around for 1 extra minute? Because if you enjoyed that,
No.
well, first...
I'm done with you. Useless parasite. Fix your button. There's literally scientific studies on gender affirming care and gender being a social construct. There aren't scientific studies on gender being a social construct. There are scientific studies on the subject of gender as a social construct because that's what it is and that's what it always has been. And if you don't understand it as that, then you can't perform any scientific research on it. It just is that, okay? People fucking made it up. It's a social construct. That's what a social construct is. And yes, always society always advanced in spite of conservatism, not because of it. Never. Not one time in history has there been a point where conservatives were the people pushing the envelope. Never. Because they always want to keep things exactly the same, right? Okay? I mean, just look at the fucking COVID vaccine. mRNA, miracle. Like, that is a scientific miracle as far as you can get to one. Okay? As close as you can get to one. Fucking miracle, man. mRNA vaccines, holy shit. Who would have thought? We can just inject, we don't even need the virus anymore. We can just inject a little bit of RNA into somebody's body and they'll just build the antivirus or the antibodies. That's insane. That's incredible. And it was at a 99% effective rate against the original strain of COVID. But stupid fucks like these wanted to take horse paste instead. They wanted to shove horse pills up their ass instead. They wanted to lick doorknobs instead and cough on people instead. And be on the side of the virus instead. That's what people like you did, man. Disgusting. But I mean, it's not much. I am getting close to the end here, though. Probably. Getting a little sleepy deepy. Also, everybody's live right now, and it's starting to split my audience up, I think. But a bunch of people want to be like, the vaccine was rushed and dangerous. Exactly. Let's pick up my mom's cat from the groomer. I hope he's doing all right, or she. Or they. Yeah, I got nothing else really. Getting kind of tired. I might just call it a night, guys. We got some good seggies in. You cannot? Aw. Okay, if you can dig up another segment for me that interests me in the next... I'll give you 5 minutes. If anybody can dig up a segment that interests me, then maybe I'll stay on. I will give you guys 5 minutes. Okay, I'm back. What do we got? The entire video is him projecting as if he doesn't think his feelings about God should dictate other people's lives. Exactly. No, it was all projection from the ground up. Why, for the first time in my life, should I vote? Well, if you live in the United States and you don't like Project 2025 and you don't want Trump to be a dictator, then you should probably vote for Biden. Or against Trump, rather. Ugh. What a depressing fucking state of affairs, man. I'm working on another glove. It's pure white this time. And I'm gonna try to put my logo on it and see how it looks. Hold on. I can't find my work bag. My back. It looks like something else. What you talking? Voting gives you two choices. Either you keep the status quo or going, or let Trump bulldoze over any semblance of progress that was made over the years. I agree. even if Trump wins, I think we can come back from it, but it will be you're basically taking an enormous step back in terms of progress. Eventually the tides will turn again, but I'd rather not undo anything that's already been done. You know what I mean? Like, let's just keep trudging forward and not backward. That would be preferable. Here, I will show you guys. Hold on. Oh shit, my camera's not plugged in. You know what? It's fine. I don't need it right now. I use my old camera to, like, sometimes for the crochet cam. But I'll just do without it. Oh wait, I got the wrong hook out. I need my size 5. I don't think I can vote because it feels like I'm forcing my will on other people. Okay, that's a good joke. Good job. Good job, you got me. So, to make this glove, they look like this, by the way. They're fingerless gloves. They slip on quite nicely. They're very comfortable. This one's probably a little bit big, and the ones I make are probably a little bit big, but I like them better that way than if they're too small. I did make one that's like a size smaller, and I didn't like how it fit on my hand. So here's what you do. So you get to the end of a row. Now, you do this pretty much for every row. And what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1. So you're going to wrap it around the hook and just pull it through this loop and chain 1. Okay? And then after that, we're going to flip our work. Now we're going to take the hook. And we're going to insert it into this first hole here. So we put it in like that. And then we yarn over is what that's called. Pull through. And we wrap and pull through those 2 loops right there. Okay? Easy enough. Then, oh, here we go. We're going to do back loop only. Back loop only. Holy shit. Back loop only, folks. Yes, that's right. Back loop only. We're going to yarn over yet again. Yarn over. Okay? Yarn over. See very closely. We're going to pull it through just like that. Just like we did before, except it's back loop only this time. We got 2 loops now. Yarn over again. Pull through. And boom. We got another chain there. Back loop only yet again. Here we go, folks. Back loop only again. Boom. Pull through. Loop over. Through the 2 loops. Yarn. Back loop only. Again. We're going to do that 12. Sorry. We did both loops 1 time. We're going to do back loop only 11 times. Now when we get to the end of that. Here. Let me relax for a second. Come on now. Sometimes this type of yarn gets stuck. And what the back loop only does, you see, is create that nice frilly texture that you see. Nice frills there. I'm not trying to get a legit a thing for me. I'm sorry. Oh, I thought it was a joke. I'm sorry. Yeah, NB Pal, I would highly encourage you to vote for the Democratic nominee, whoever that ends up being. It will probably be Biden. We can hope that Kamala will do it, but it will probably be Biden. And I highly, highly, highly encourage you. I can't encourage you enough to vote for that person. I know that it's rough. You know, I know that Biden has not been putting on a good performance lately. And by all means, yes, if it were anybody else that he were running against that was not a Republican, I would say vote for the other guy. He is like the worst Democrat to run right now, almost. I can think of like maybe 2 that would be worse. Kirsten Sinema and that other guy. And only maybe. I don't even know if they would be worse at this point. The point is, we don't want Trump to win. That's the big thing. So in terms of electability, I would honestly take Kirsten Sinema. I think Kirsten Sinema has more electability at this point in history than Joe Biden does. So I'll take her. Anybody except Trump right now. I will vote for a fucking corpse. And I will. I will literally vote for a corpse because it's Biden. Almost there. Two more. I'm an old school anarchist, so it's pretty rough thing for me to say I can vote. Can you please? I mean, okay, let's put it this way. If you're an anarchist, right? You want to end the state. Bring it into like state rule. It behooves you and your worldview right now to vote for Biden. Like, that will be beneficial to anarchist worldviews. Okay? Because Biden is a lot closer to your worldview than Trump is. That's just how it is. That's just the facts. All right. Biden does have a rather better chance than most realize right now. I disagree. I don't know. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through both loops. We're going to do what's called the moss stitch here. It's called the moss stitch. It's a nice, soft, I'll show you. So what you see in the middle there, this is the moss stitch. It's nice and soft. Okay, it's a good texture. It's very nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this whole stitch right here. We're going to pull through and we're going to do what's called a slip stitch, folks. Get ready for the slip stitch. So watch that very carefully. We're going to go through the hole just like this. Okay, we're going to yarn over, pull that bad boy through, and then we're going to keep going. Uh-oh, what's this? Keep going through that one loop. Oh boy, there we go. And that's called a slip stitch, folks. Slip stitch. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to yarn over before we insert our hook. Okay, we're going to yarn over before we insert our hook because we're going to yarn over and then we're going to insert our hook. And this is going to be what's called not a treble crochet, a half double crochet is what this is called. Sorry, it's a little tricky sometimes. Gotta really shove that sucker through. Get in there. Oh, I don't know why it's so hard sometimes. So we put it through. Now you'll see when we pull this through, just the one loop, we got, or sorry, the one pocket. We got 3 loops right there. That's good. That's what we want. Now we're gonna yarn over and pull through all 3 of those bad boys just like that. Come on. Go. You're embarrassing me. Okay. So we're going to try that again. So we're going to yarn over, go through, pull through, and then yarn over again through all 3 loops, if it will go. Why the fuck is it not going? Okay, got it. There we go. We'll move on. Another slip stitch through the next one. Another half double crochet. And we continue for 14, and then we go back to the back loop only. And then you go to the next chain. Good night, Lady Nova. I'll probably be ending soon in a sec as well. Watching this before I can legally vote, sadly. I'm sorry to hear that. I get what you're saying. Not sure I agree, but I do understand. You are picking your battleground. Would you rather fight for anarchism under a Biden presidency or under a Trump presidency? Because I guarantee you that one will be easier than the other. Even as an anarchist, it is very dumb to not vote. I'm sorry. Like, I know I said that people who don't vote are stupid, but like, or I said that and then I took it back and now I'm saying it again. It's like, objectively, right? I hesitate to say that because I know that Biden's doing such a shit job right now. But objectively, Biden's the better option. A corpse at this point is the better option. You know? Like, I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Accelerationism doesn't work. And actually, there was a literal accelerationist that I meant to bring on, and I never messaged them. They're voting for Trump specifically because they're an accelerationist, and I need to bring them on. That'd be such a good discussion. Can you imagine? I'll find them. I'll find them. I'll message them. I'll get them on. All right, I think I'm gonna drop you guys off. I'm getting tired. Biden is also objectively doing a great job, like in terms of domestic policy. In terms of policy, sure. He's the most progressive president of our lifetime. You know, but like that doesn't matter. It's all about optics now. We're in the point of the election procedure. Like elections are about optics. How good are you optically? And he's not good. Crocheting Mario pattern. I should not have the music on. Look at that. Look how cute that is. I strive to be at his level. Trump is much worse optically. I disagree. I think that Trump is very bad optically, but I think that people look at him and see somebody who is like alive. I don't know. How do you raid into somebody again? Thanks, Google. I always have to refresh fucking Google. YouTube live redirect. Okay, I have to go to the stream itself, edit. Settings, community. No. Should be in customization. Oh, I have to go to the control room. This is so stupid. It should just be a button. It should just be a button. Why the fuck is it not just a button? Hello, Nicole Renee. Sorry, we're just about to end. Oh, great. I haven't had monetization on this whole time because it's not automatic. Thank you. Okay. Settings. Come on. Live control room, edit settings. This is ridiculous. I can't figure this out at all. Live stream. Raid should be right next to end stream. It really should be. Create a live stream. Where's edit? Where's the edit button? Not Twitch. Twitch is easy. I'm just watching a video.
Today, I'm going to show you how to set up a rate. And if you don't, things at the bottom of the menu and then the community. Open YouTube's community tab. At the bottom of the menu.
Channel dashboard. Settings, community. There we go. Thank you. So stupid. No, not community. It should be...
Menu and then the community tab.
Yeah, it is the community tab. Okay. Locked words. Live redirects.
Scroll down to the content is and search for a game or stream title. As you can see, there are select add and search for a game or stream step. Select
Create stream, customize. You have to do it from the create stream menu. This is so stupid. I'm just gonna link you guys like I usually do. I'll figure it out eventually. Get over there. Get YouTube. User ID. Sorry, I have to set it up my site too.
Hours.
Okay, here we go. YouTube channel. Okay, I got it. All right, if you're still here, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for sticking around till the end. I appreciate all of you. I will try to be back on Friday. No guarantees. I got a lot going on lately, so I'm trying to keep up with streams, but my brain is tired and I'm tired and there's a lot going on. So thank you again for being here. Love you all. Have a great night.